Hello everyone and welcome to a Tinfoil Thursday. I am back after 3 days of absence and I'm sure you're very excited to get into more internet weirdness with me. Are the withdrawals too terrible? I know, if I had to go without me for any amount of time, I'd be miserable too. Welcome everyone to another stream. Of course, we missed Tinfoil on Tuesday, so I'd moved it up to today. Welcome, welcome. Hey, Phoenix2250. Hey, Nemesaur, Rick M, Mr. Blast, Sweet Lily Love, Jay's Proxy, Ken's Sister Sue, NB Vulpine, Terradona, German Cow JJ, Innocuous Blonde, Dodger Mutt, JC Dentoid, Frey from the A, Overthought, Profane Priestess, Caesar Bishop, Demon Trigger, and anyone else that I missed who is either in chat or lurking. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a good week so far. It's weird starting this week on a Thursday. Very odd. Let's see what I missed in chat, if anything. Caesar Bishop, thanks for 7 months with Prime, says, woot woot, missed ya. Missed you guys too. Missed you guys too. If you're on YouTube, do me a favor, like the stream, I'd appreciate it. Just hit the thumbs up, helps a lot, helps new people find the stream. Oh, happy birthday, by the way, Profane Priestess. Make sure you wish Profane Priestess a happy birthday, everyone. It is their birthday. What else? If you want to support the stream, you can always do so on YouTube using memberships or super chats. If you want to help support the show on Twitch, you can always become a subscriber, gift subs, or use bits. I also figured out for the tip goal that we got most recently, we are going to do a Discord movie night. I just have to pick a date and a film, but that'll be fun. And we have started a new tip goal, which I'll have to figure out. But we have the last one figured out at least. Chromatic Cuttlefish says, I don't know if you heard, but Casafel has been in the wars. While they were on holiday in Canada, they got hit by a passing car and ended up in hospital with a fractured vertebrae. So all good thoughts in their direction are welcome. My goodness, I think I did see that they had been to the hospital, but I didn't know it was that. That's terrible. Bright side, in Canada, so the medical bills won't be a huge nightmare. It's a very American thing of me to say. What a nightmare we live in. Phoenix Leftist, thanks for 46 months at Tier 2 and almost kicking off a hype train. Phoenix2250 says your makeup's on point, also missed ya, hope you didn't have to work so hard. The days at work were fine, you know, it was work, it is what it is. Nothing went too bad either of the days, at least not until I had to leave, and at that point I was clocked out anyway, so it wasn't my problem. Stone Corbell, thanks for gifting a sub. And kicking off a hype train, 22% to level 2 on the hype train. If you like the stream and want to support it, you can support the hype train by using bits or subs. Alright, so with all that stuff out of the way, we can jump into it. We are playing bingo today, so make sure you get your bingo cards ready if you would like to play yourself. Chromatic Cuttlefish says they had surgery the other day to have a disc removed and the vertebra fused, and it went well. Fingers crossed their recovery goes well. Oh, that sounds rather intensive. My goodness, I will have to reach out. Terradona, thanks for gifting 5 Tier 1 subs. Thank you so much. How did your notification just come on? Technology is a nightmare, upon which we all rely. Me especially so. I have a dentist appointment coming up, finally. It's been several years since I've been to the dentist, so wish me luck on that. See what it'll take to whiten these fuckers. I won't be not missing a tooth, but at least people won't comment mean things about the stains on YouTube anymore. Sweet Lily Love with 100 bits says, I'm just glad I work for the local government. I get to feel less pessimistic. You feel less pessimistic working for the local government? That's interesting. Sweet Lily Love says, I assume you heard that Desi Freeman got caught killed. Yes, the sovereign citizen that fled into the Australian bush was found and shot by the police. We'll cover that a little more in depth on the next sovereign citizen stream, which will probably be this weekend, like on Saturday. Jay's Proxy with a 400 stream streak says, well, her replacement won't be competent. Bondi's no longer not going to be the Attorney General soon. Also 600 to go. I did hear that. And the next person he put as interim is one of his personal attorneys. News that would have been shocking and scandalous if you'd heard it a decade ago. Anyway, so 57% to level 3. Get your bingo cards ready if you'd like. We're going to go ahead and kick off Tinfoil Thursday. We'll start with the Nasara QAnon guy. Let's see how he's doing. We're going to do a series of videos. I think it's about 4 videos he's done since we last watched him. They're only about 2 minutes each. Magos Informaticus, thanks for 25 months. Much appreciated.
We've come to the end of the short season, the season of the Satanist, the season of child trafficking and money laundering.
Ooh, Satanism on the bingo card. What did that take, 3 seconds? Is that the fastest we've gone from the start of the video to a space on the bingo? It was basically the 3rd word he said was Satanists.
Laundering, taxes, overburdened inflation, all these things are now coming to an end. In my opinion, it will not come with...
It's funny to me that inflation is on the same list as child trafficking. Like, in terms of priorities, they're not even on the same page, maybe not even in the same book. Like, I'd probably just talk about the child trafficking if you thought that was happening, and maybe leave the inflation thing for another conversation.
The great...
Ash and Asphodel, thanks for 40 months and getting us over level 3 of the hype train.
A great savior coming in the sky. This is not what this is about. This is about personal sovereignty. This is about all of us waking up to our own individual power. On Wednesday, April 1st.
Who did you vote for, man? I always forget his name. Eli. Eli Weber is his name. How am I? I'm all right, Italian Shakespeare. How are you doing?
At mid...
Other than the general background existential dread, but that's been around for like a decade, so I don't even count that at this point. I basically have to re-normalize the scale based on the weight of the terrible things happening already on it. So we zero that out with the understanding that there's a background level, you know?
Night. That is the moment of what's called halakhic Passover. It is the moment of transition. It's actually the beginning of...
One of the Paul brothers is running for Senate. Of course they are! Of course they are! Everything's great. Everything's good. Society's fine.
April 2nd, which President Trump has mentioned is his start date. The old world is basically not alive anymore. They are not going to...
Is this going to be anti-Semitic? I believe this gentleman is Semitic. I think he is Jewish, and he is into the QAnon stuff.
To be able to hurt you. They do not hold any threat or any power whatsoever. The trick here is that this is an individual journey. You can't wait to be saved. You don't need permission. You don't need to be told. In fact, that could get in your way. What you want to do is become sovereign, meaning you just have to start a new way of thinking. You have to take control of your life and realize no one's here to destroy you, and no one's here to help you. I mean, people will help each other. That's the thing. We're coming into great unity. We're coming into the Great Awakening, and it starts on April 2nd, according to the more American calendar, but it's really the night of Passover. It's midnight.
Wait, which day did
American
he say?
Calendar, but it's
today. That's April 2nd. That's today.
Really the night of Passover. It's midnight, the beginning of April 2nd. Everything changes.
Did you guys get your goat blood on the doors last night? I didn't, and my firstborn is dead.
Go for the
They were kind of an ass anyway. It's fine.
Gusto, man. You are Neo. You are the one. The old world, the maritime system is dead. We will not be taxed to the max anymore. We're coming into a time of incredible freedom and creativity. So welcome home, my brothers and sisters. Welcome home. When you think of predictive programming, what could be more predictive programming than the Old Testament?
Predictive programming on the bingo card? He said it, so I'll count it. We'll also do ancient wisdom because it's about the Bible, but he said predictive programming, so I'll count it.
They told us what's going on for the future. They gave us away. They gave their story away. The Satanists are required to to tell us what they're doing to us. So think of the story of
I like that the story about, like, evil people never makes any sense. They have to tell us what they're doing. Why? Because I'm seeing things, and if they weren't showing us what they were doing, then I'm just crazy. Nemesaur, thanks for gifting 10 tier 1 subs and getting us over level 4. Thank you muchly.
of Egypt, of Moses leading the people out of Egypt. This took place on the night of April 1st, at midnight April 1st, which is the beginning of April 2nd for this year. I personally don't believe anything monumental in terms of things outside are going to occur. But
things are changing, you just can't see them, though. Things are happening behind the scenes. The white hats will never let you down. Broha, thanks for continuing your subscription and getting us over level 5 of the hype train.
This is an inflection point. This is a point of no return for those of us who understand what's really going on. And what's really going on, despite all the news and all the distractions, is the Great Awakening. We are waking up. We are telling the Egyptians...
Did I ever see the Psy-War Go Army ad they made a couple years ago? No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Let my people go. We are going. We are going to the promised land. How is this going to happen? Think of all that Moses had to do to the Egyptians, 10 plagues to get them to give it up. And then they still came after the Yidden. They trapped the Yidden.
Okay, this annoys me. In the story, it specifically says that God hardened the heart of the Pharaoh to keep him from giving in to Moses's demands. So I want to point out, the reason that they sent so many plagues is because God literally interfered with the free will of the Pharaoh to make sure he did not give up so they could continue to do the 10 plagues of Egypt. Just feels like people haven't read the story lately. It says God hardened Pharaoh's heart, as in made it so he could not, like, back down from what he was doing or give in to the demands of Moses. Basically manufacturing consent for all 10 plagues. Again, it's a mythology story. I don't take it that seriously, but people do, and they misinterpret it, and it's driving me up a wall. Felicity Thiel, with a 15-month streak, says, learning about Taoism, Eastern esotericism right now, mostly because I need something to believe in to keep me sane in the current. It's fascinating and beautiful, even if it's a little woo-woo. I think knowing it's a little woo-woo is the perfect headspace. As long as you know, keep one foot on the ground. Bittergrin with 100 bits, thank you. And Overthought says, quite convenient that God pays attention to time zones so the Americans on the East Coast experience things first. Hey, Americans are the main characters of the universe, haven't you heard? We're God's favorite children or something. Captain Conundrum, thanks for 95 bits.
At the Sea of Reeds, and they broke into camps.
The older version says Pharaoh's gods hardened his heart, but later versions couldn't admit that other gods exist. Yeah, that's a problem with the Old Testament. Many of the stories were written with the idea that there was more than one god. They were just opposing gods. Anyway. Captain Conundrum, thanks for 200 bits, and Jillyfish, thanks for 125 stream streak.
They broke into intellectual thought camps. One camp said, let's surrender. It's the most horrible army that was ever, created. Another camp said, let's fight them. Moses said, let's pray. Let's stop and pray to God. Nachshon, the prince of the tribe of Yehuda, just went forward. He didn't think about it. He just kept going. And because of Nachshon, because of his bravery, just walked right into the sea. I mean, he was not without fear. I don't think, from what I understand, he was a little...
All right, let's see what else we have. Let's go for one of the Artemis videos, shall we? Because we haven't even gotten stuff from, like, CC yet or anything, and there's already conspiracy theorists talking about how they think the Artemis mission is bullshit, in particular because it launched on April 1st, also known as April Fool's Day. So many of them are saying that it's hidden in plain sight fakery by the government. So let's check it out. 30 seconds on the hype train.
Look, I'll be honest. I don't even really want to do this.
I should say, for those that don't know, I guess I shouldn't assume, Artemis 2 is a manned mission to go around the moon, so they're not landing on the moon. This is the precursor to another moon landing. They're just circling the moon and coming back, but it's an incredible step towards the next moon landing, which I think is the next manned mission they're planning.
This video, because at this point, if you still think this thing's going to the moon, I think you have a learning disability. And I'm not trying to be rude. I'm really not, because it was so censored at one point. It was so censored and you couldn't find good information, but it's littered over the internet now. You can find really good information telling you that there's a firmament and that the earth is flat. And
you can find people telling you that. That doesn't make it good information. It's quite bad information, actually. H-Baird says the NASA YouTube feed glitched out a couple times, including right at liftoff. I'm certain people will incorporate that into their conspiracies. Flat Earth on the bingo card, of course. Flat Earthers love to think everything's about them.
stationary. It can't go anywhere. That's why it's flying horizontally, my friend.
Sorry, apparently I'm wrong. Chromatic Cuttlefish says the current plan is for Artemis 3 to be an Earth orbit checkout, and Artemis 4 will be the moon landing. Thank you.
Friends, you might want to get tested for a learning disability. Not to mention a learning disability, but you have zero awareness of being mocked. They're literally mocking you. These are the names of the astronauts. Reed Wiseman, Christine A. Cock, Christ.
Wait, what? Okay. So that guy's last name is Wiseman, which he has, for some reason, spelled phonetically as Wizman. Don't know why that's supposed to be nefarious. Christina Koch, which he has phonetically spelled as Christ in a cock. Christ in a cock. Is that supposed to be nefarious? It's just weird. It's not nefarious.
Christ in a cock, Victor.
Why would you ever phonetically sound out these people's names this way?
Glove her, and well, Jay rammed me, and I actually wonder if they're giving a little nod to me there. A nod to the guy that is exposing all of their lies every day, all of the time. He's got a nice little butt chin there. Yeah, sure, these are all their names, and there's no mockery going on because they love their phallic symbols.
Italian Shakespeare says, I have a feeling when CC sees the news in the pic, he will do what Tony Soprano did when he looked at a box of Uncle Ben's, right? I've never seen The Sopranos. I've seen the first episode of The Sopranos, but never beyond that.
All their names, and there's no mockery going on because they love their phallic symbols and mockery, and it's...
Again, no, none of this is an intentional phallic symbol or anything referencing penises. This is entirely your brain looking at people's names and going, that makes me think about dick. That's an internal thing that you need to deal with in some way, but it's not coming from external sources.
Always right in your face. Right in your face.
Christ in a cock is right in your face. That Christ cock won't get out of your face.
But why would they lie? The lie would have to
It's
be
like the It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia scene, yeah, when Mac takes the pen and he's like, oh, and what? I'm supposed to think that looks like a dick, and it's just a pen?
so big and so many people would have to be in on it, and I don't really...
Spurious symbology is evidence on the bingo card. Spurious symbology.
Understand the point. What's the point? Well, the point is they're making you think you're an evolved chimp spinning on a ball in endless space. And if you think that, well, then you're stuck in the world of science fiction, actually, but you don't realize that you live in a spiritual realm, and there's a spiritual war going on, and there's a bunch of fallen angels here that are deceiving you. In so many ways your head would spin if you actually knew the truth. And I used to think the lie was always about just hiding our Heavenly Father, but no, it's about hiding the fallen angels that are literally here in flesh, shape-shifting to character. They're all your favorite athletes who used to be someone else that you worshipped in a different way. Take a look. Oh, here's even more athletes. Yeah, Mickey Mantle, Christian McCaffrey.
Did Eli mean we checked off QAnon and the Matrix because he called us Neo, the chosen one? No, he didn't directly reference either in the videos we watched. I have a couple more videos of his we might come back to later.
Houdini, Joe Burrow, Larry Hagman from I Dream of Jeannie, Tom Brady, H.P. Lovecraft, and Mike L. Phelps. Some dude who made the Pony Express, Alexander somebody, and, you know, Taylor Swift's boy, whatever, Travis Kelce, MJ, and Jackie Robinson. Oh, and Wilt, who became Kobe, who became Myles Garrett. They're your favorite TV star comedians. Cousin Larry from Perfect Strangers and Michael Scott. You can't see that.
Balky from Perfect Strangers? All right. Okay, then.
Larry from Perfect Strangers and Michael Scott. You can't see that. They're all your favorite musicians. If you can't see Tom Petty literally is Ed Helms, or that Keith Whitley is Hugh Jackman, or that Tucker Wetmore, like you're not wet anymore if you use a bail to bail it out, Dale Earnhardt.
What was that?
Wetmore, like you're not wet anymore if you use a bail to bail it out, Dale Earnhardt.
That's terrible. That it feels like the 1960s Batman solving a riddle that's obviously impossible, but that's the joke? Oh.
Art, Morgan Wallen, I mean, come on, people. It's all of your favorite people on the TV who all faked their deaths so they could become a new character and you wouldn't realize that they live a lot longer than me and you. It's all of them. That's Cosmo Kramer and Dean Martin. And I've done videos on 100 of them. I'm not that good with my imagination.
Have I heard Hugh Jackman might be in a cult? Oh, that's unfortunate.
But I am good at seeing through their lies and their facial similarity.
Dead Celebrity is Alive. See, here's the thing. The space isn't just Dead Celebrity is Alive. I believe it is Dead Celebrity is... Oh, no, it is. Okay, it used to be Dead Celebrity is Alive and was working for the White Hats, but now we just have Dead Celebrity is Alive. So, yep, that counts. Sorry, I misremembered the old space.
And marks. But of course, all this...
I'm pretty sure he's mentioned Death Becomes Her before, which is a pretty funny movie if you haven't seen it.
For entertainment purposes. I'm sure this isn't at all...
Do I regret misremembering? Nice try.
Just mind control to the 100th degree to keep you spinning on a ball evolved from a chimp, clueless to who you are and where you are. It's time to take your power back, my friends. Take it all back. And where do you do that? By seeking truth. Endlessly. Entertainment only.
That guy's the most obnoxious person. I do not like him. Not one bit. Oh, by the way, this is conspiracy beef, and I have to cover it because I find it funny. The guy we just watched is apparently having beef with this guy, who we cover, and he thinks sports are fake.
Hi guys, I wanted to make this video to let you guys know that my life was recently threatened by a content creator here on YouTube. He also posts content on all of the social media websites, and he's being promoted on all of the social media websites. So there might be a good chance that you know who it is I'm talking about. So this person whom I speak of goes by the name of Fittest Flat Earther. He's also known as Tyler Hansen, and he recently sent me a death threat through Facebook Messenger. So here's what the message...
Oh God, what does it say? I know he's gonna read it, but I gotta read it first. It says, "Hey Jake, pleasure to meet you. I would just like to formally introduce myself and let you know I will personally..." What? ED, is that supposed to be end? Your sad, pathetic, jealous, lying little existence in this earth if I ever come across that little weasel face of yours in person. Have a lovely day, and make sure to always look over your back, because I'm everywhere. That's not good. That is a direct threat. That's not good. Terradona says they're fighting foil with foil. Perfect. Is this the... what is it gonna be? Oh no! Inside Hugh Jackman's weird cult! Okay, I'll take a look at that later.
message said that he sent me. Hey Jake, pleasure to meet you. I would just like to formally introduce myself and let you know I will personally end your sad, pathetic, jealous, lying little existence in this earth if I ever come across that little weasel face of yours in person. Have a lovely day. Oh, and make sure to always look over your back because I'm everywhere.
We can call that FBI Is This a Threat? It's a threat against a conspiracy theorist, but a threat's a threat. Alright, where's that? 18. Hello, FBI? Is this a threat?
You can tell he was really triggered by the grammatical errors in his death threat. And I think he purposely misspelled the word end so that the death threat wasn't too direct. So it's a bit of a veiled threat, but it's a threat nonetheless. So
I would agree that that's probably intentional. Looking at my keyboard, the N is multiple spaces away from the period. It's not impossible, but it's unlikely you're going to hit that on a typo.
I reviewed one of his videos in my latest live stream, and I pointed out that I personally do believe that he's purposely pushing disinformation. He's pointing at certain celebrities and claiming that they also play the role of this other celebrity. But then he provides nothing but terrible evidence, and a lot of times his evidence seems to be purposely deceitful. So I watched one of his videos.
A conspiracy theorist's evidence is purposefully deceitful? That never happens. Oh my god.
And he makes the claim that the musician Prince also plays the role of magician David Blaine. Yes, that's right. He claims that 5'2" Prince also plays the role of 6 foot tall David Blaine. Now, if somebody's going to make this claim that
N and period are closer on a phone keyboard, fair?
one celebrity plays the role of another celebrity, I'm not going to dismiss that claim immediately. But
I like that he's like, I'm not opposed to believing that there's ancient shapeshifters changing their roles in society on a regular basis to confuse normies. They just can't change their height, obviously. Peep Lord, thanks for 33 months, says, woohoo, we did the number. We did! We're in on the conspiracy, yay!
But if there's a 10-inch height discrepancy, I'm going to need to see some extremely solid evidence to support this theory. And I don't see serious evidence coming from this guy. What I do see is that this guy is purposely mixing disinformation into a subject that I talk about quite often on my channel. So I talk about celebrities being replaced on my channel.
Limb lengthening surgery. I personally would like limb shortening surgery. I would like to be 5 foot tall.
All the time. So when I see someone who appears to be purposely mixing disinformation into the subject and doing it in large quantities, it basically seems like this guy is taking a disinformation diarrhea dump all over the celebrity.
Sorry, I just gotta Does anyone remember the angry video game nerd? Never mind.
Replacement theory subject. And so beings that I talk about this.
Peeplord says, unfortunately, Hannah, those threats culminated into a pretty physical accostement. And then there's a link. Oh no, fireball! Fireball!
Lightning bolt!
Oh, it was lightning bolt. I suck.
Lightning bolt! Lightning bolt! Lightning bolt!
Sleep!
Lightning bolt! Lightning bolt!
Sleep!
Lightning bolt! Sleep!
How many spell slots does he have? Beautiful. Where were we? There he is.
This sort of thing on my channel, and I
stopped
take it
watching
seriously.
years ago. Yeah, Angry Video Game Nerd hasn't been funny since I was in middle school, because again, it's pretty middle school humor. It's poopy and, you know.
I decided to call this guy out in my latest live stream. And that same night, he sends me a death threat through Facebook. So basically what happened in a nutshell is I showed...
You've seen the bits of what he's like now, and he looks old as he is. I think, okay, I know James Rolfe will never see anything I ever do, but James, it's time. It's time to go bald. It's time to shave what's on your head. You gotta let it go. It's not worth hanging on to anymore, James. Let it go.
One of his full videos claiming that...
Have I followed the Christy Gnome situation? Feels like there will be conspiracy theories about that soon. Not closely, other than her husband was doing some sort of fetish cross-dressing on the internet.
Prince plays the role of David Blaine.
This isn't to be mean. This is just to illustrate my point. Let's look at what James Rolfe is up to now. James Rolfe. Where is the actual channel? Where is he in here? God damn it. Okay. I just think it's time, James, to fully embrace the bald. I think that maybe it's time. This is my non-expert opinion, to let it the fuck go. Green guy with the $3 tip says, Hannah, weren't you in middle school 20 years ago? Yeah? And he was making videos 20 years ago, correct? He's like a really early internet creator. Anyway, where were we? Okay.
And I reacted to it live, and my audience reacted to it live. And we collectively came to the conclusion that this guy's a liar, and he is indeed purposely pushing disinformation. And so the evidence that he claimed he had was a side-by-side comparison of Prince's face and David Blaine's face.
And where I first go is to my symmetry test and watch the symmetry of this eye here. I mean, it is unmistakable. And I mean, just take a look. I mean, look at that split face there.
And I gotta be honest, I don't think they look like exact replicas of each other. I don't think Prince and David Blaine are dead-on ringers for each
Brendan Lee Mulligan and Rebecca Black raised $8,000 for the Trevor Project on Jeopardy on YouTube. That's great.
other. There's some slight resemblance there, but definitely not enough to say yes, for sure, Prince is David Blaine, just by showing a side-by-side face comparison. So, what I wanted to hear him explain in detail is how Prince, who's a 5'2" man, Prince, as everyone knows, is a very short, tiny man, right? A small, skinny, short, tiny man. And so David Blaine is not tiny by any stretch of the imagination. Nobody says, hey, that David Blaine sure is a tiny fella, right? So David Blaine is listed as 6 foot tall, and he looks like he's every bit of 6 foot tall. So of course I want to know, how does 5'2" Prince become 6 foot tall David Blaine every time he has to pretend to be David Blaine on camera?
Now, I know where a ton of people are going to run to right away, and maybe not you guys, but the mainstream when I release this for the general public is the height. And let me just say this. Clearly, there's a height difference. But 2 things. 1, he is literally the master of illusion, so I would not...
That's a great justification, isn't it? Well, he's a magician, so he could just do whatever, right? Ooh, he put mirrors in his legs to make him look bigger.
Put it past him to literally wear stilts all the time.
So fit is
Just wear... Could have just made David Blaine shorter, but we're gonna go stilts on this one, for fun.
Flat Earther tells his audience that Prince accomplishes the feat of becoming 6 feet tall by wearing stilts That's right. He tells his audience.
This is what I don't get. He's clearly capable of being skeptical of conspiratorial claims here, so why is he a conspiracy theorist himself? He's clearly capable of recognizing how ridiculous many of these claims are. But why this? Why is this the thing that's a step too far and not all the other stuff he believes?
Prince probably, maybe, wears stilts.
So I would not put it past him to literally wear stilts all the time.
He floats the notion that David Blaine is 5'2" Prince walking around in freaking stilts. And then he's got this shit-eating grin on his face. As he points.
No, he's a flat earther, Zolit. He is a flat earther.
Picture of Prince and David Blaine over his head. So he's making garbage slop TikTok content with Duper's delight on his face. He literally looks like this in every video. See? Prince? He's David Blaine. See how they look alike?
I should point out, Duper's delight, if you don't know, is a thing conspiracy theorists made up, so that if you look happy, they can say, look, Duper's delight, that means they're lying. It's basically just a way they can justify coming up with evidence that someone's lying based on nothing other than they're being pleasant.
So then he gives one final reason why he thinks that Prince is playing the role of David Blaine. And he knows not everybody is going to buy the excuse that Prince is wearing 10-inch stilts when he pretends to be David Blaine. So he floats another theory that Prince is a fallen angel.
Literally, I think these people are either fallen angels themselves or descendants, where they have the bloodline of the fallen angels. So it's not beyond the realm of possibilities, in my opinion, that they can appear different heights and shapeshift a little.
That's right. Prince is a fallen angel, and he can magically shapeshift and transform into David Blaine in the snap of a finger. So he floats two different theories that Prince uses stilts to magically become David Blaine. Or, if you don't like that theory, he's a fallen angel.
Again, I'm very confused. This guy puts out insane flat earth theories constantly. Remember the time he said that there were two suns and one disappeared into the earth at any given point of the day? How is that considered reasonable to him, but this isn't? Neither is reasonable, but it's weird that he's so inconsistent.
That's his evidence. So he claims that they look alike, they sound alike, and so therefore Prince must be using stilts and or he's a fallen angel. And his audience eats this up. And he gets hundreds of thousands of views on these videos on some social media platforms. He's on all the platforms, and he's getting promoted and pushed on a daily basis as he pushes this disinformation. So all I did was point out that I don't think Prince is David Blaine, and I personally, honestly, think that this guy, Fittest Flat Earther, aka Tyler Hansen, is a liar.
Oh yeah, Chromatic Cuttlefish, it definitely sounds like some of this is coming from a place of being upset he's not as popular as the other guy.
Liar! That's right. I think he's a liar. I think he's purposely lying. And I think he's being paid to lie. That's my honest opinion. I think he's a purposely paid liar who's pushing disinformation into a serious subject.
They're conspiracy theoring at each other. The other guy probably thinks that Jake is a plant, and Jake thinks the other guy is a plant.
I like to talk about on my channel. And he's also referring to himself as Fittest Flat Earther. It appears he's taking the subject of the Earth not being a globe and the subject of celebrities being replaced, which are real subjects that I like to talk about on my channel, and he's infusing both those subjects with a mountain of diarrhea and disinformation.
He's not conspiracy theorying like I do, and he's popular. He must be an industry plant.
And so I called it out. And since I called it out on a live stream and he caught wind, he decided to send me a death threat through Facebook Messenger. So I immediately posted the death threat once I saw it the next day. I posted it on Facebook for everyone to see, and in my community section here on YouTube for everyone to see. And I'm making this video for everyone to see, showing you guys proof this guy did indeed threaten my life with a veiled death threat. He literally said he's gonna end my life, except he purposely misspelled the word end and added a period. So he put the word E.D instead of the word end. Because I guess he's too much of a sissy to send me a real death threat. So he sent me a little bit of a veiled death threat. So not only did he send me a veiled...
Are we seriously at the phase of you're too much of a pussy to threaten my life properly?
death threat.
Why are men? Why are men?
He has now officially released an apology video on his channel. However, there is no apology directed to me. My name is never mentioned. What he does do is apologize to his own audience for the fact that he drank too much alcohol and said some stuff that he didn't mean to say.
There's two things I always try to be: honest and a man of character. And well, recently I failed at one of those, and I'm going to be honest about it. You see, recently I had family to my house for the first time. Family that hasn't seen eye to eye with me for the past 2 years. And it was a joyous time, a time of celebration. And I partook in some alcoholic beverages, which I normally don't do. And at the end of the evening, I flipped on social media, and I came across a video of someone for 4 straight hours, mocking and lying and saying terrible things about me. And while
if your first inclination when you get drunk is to get violent and threaten someone, you shouldn't drink anymore, and you need therapy, because the alcohol didn't put that into you, it just let it out. Peoplord with 69 bits says, these morons are complete idiots. David Blaine pretends to be Prince. The dancing and the heat of the concert lights caused David to get smaller and become Prince. He later rehydrated to become David Blaine. Again, source. The source is little dinosaurs that grow in water. I never liked those as a kid. I was supremely disappointed. They don't grow enough.
usually I allow the trolls to be background noise and not in.
Ashley One Up says, I don't see eye to eye with my family. They believe in spheres and that people die.
Impact me physically, mentally, or spiritually. The alcohol got me. It got the better of me. And I responded unfavorably. And I fully own it. And I fully admit it. And I'm just being honest about it because I am a man of character. And I am human. And humans make mistakes, especially under the influence of alcohol. It's why it's so evil, and I'll probably never drink again, to be honest.
Oh my god, it's not the alcohol's fault you're a violent dickhead.
And this is an apology to the person or persons that literally lied and bashed me for 4 hours straight. This is an apology to people who have had my back, people who look to me to be a man of character and to be honest. It's an apology to those I let down, those that look to me for leadership, to those that look at me to do the right thing in all situations.
Also, it's quite funny to me, the little triumphant soundtrack he put over this to make him sound like a fucking hero.
The ones I'm apologizing to. You're the ones I let down. You're the ones I'm sorry to. To those seeking truth, you're the ones. You're the ones I've let down. And I sincerely apologize for it from the bottom of my heart. It wasn't a fake account that wrote what I did. It wasn't them lying. They lied about a lot of other things, but not that. But like I always do with mistakes I've made or hard times, I'm not going to let it define me. I'm going to learn from it and make me stronger. I'm going to let it fuel me to keep my eyes on the prize and let the background noise be background noise. I'm going to let it fuel me to keep my eyes on the prize, and the prize is helping people see through the lies. So
I did see that, Profane Priestess. That's good. It's the bare minimum. It should be 9-0, but I'll take 2-7. I'll take 2-7.
Can find their fearlessness through knowing that our Heavenly Father is real. You're just a spiritual being living here. It's an experience in this meat suit that doesn't define us. It's not, this isn't it. This isn't who we are. It's inside. So I thank the trolls. I thank the liars. I thank the people trying to take me down in the background, because you just give me strength and you don't even know. Let it be a learning lesson for us all. We make mistakes, but the question is, can you own them? Can you be honest about them? Can you admit when you're wrong? I was wrong. I'm admitting it. I have no problem doing that. Life has a funny way, and God's a funny guy sometimes. Here I am making this video, and that car's tire blew. And I just helped them change their tire. She was having a rough day already, and
This is almost comical. Like, this is my apology video, and I helped someone change their tire.
well, I was too, and now we both feel better about humanity. Have a great day, everybody. Learn from your mistakes. Don't dwell on them.
So he didn't apologize to me in the video at all. In fact, he specifically says, I'm not going to apologize to the liar who talked about me for 4 hours straight. He claims I talked about him for 4 hours straight, which is also another lie, because my live stream was only 3 hours, and I only talked about him for about an hour. So he's over-exaggerating.
I didn't talk about him for 4 hours. I talked about him for an hour.
And lying to his
I
audience.
like how the internet has turned everyone, myself included, into an adolescent. It's really destroyed our abilities to self-actualize.
In his own apology video, where he doesn't even apologize to me, the guy whose life he threatened to end. So he has heroic music playing in the background of his fake apology video, and every comment from his moronic brain-dead subs is praising him for his apology, saying that he's a big man for apologizing. There's comments saying, wow, I accept your apology. It takes a really big man in order to apologize and accept that he was wrong. So he's basically getting high fives from his audience for not apologizing to me for threatening to end my life after I exposed that he's a liar. So now he's profiting and making money off this fake apology video. So I just wanted to let you guys know what's going on. This is the real side of the story, the only side of the story that matters, because it's the actual truth. So any of you guys who might be following this fittest flat earther, Tyler Hansen, the guy's a liar. He posts a lot of stuff that's complete bullshit without any actual evidence. And on top of that, he threatened to end my life and then didn't apologize for it. So there you go. That's what's going on. Just wanted to make this video to let everybody know all the details. So please like, share, and subscribe so that everybody can see what type of person this Tyler Hansen character actually is.
Jesus Christ, I hope that feud continues. It's just entirely pointless, and I'm very happy to see them wasting each other's time. Oh, good. The Galactic Federation of Light has given us an update on James Rink. Remember James Rink, the head of the super soldier thing? Here's an update.
This information is telepathic communication only, written into scripts and then read by me and text-to-speech software. Enjoy. Conversation with Galactic Federation, March 29th, 2026. How is James Rink doing?
He is in a state of profound recalibration. The initial, intensive work of extraction and repair is complete. The fractures in his energy field, caused by the pressures of his
No, they're not coping well.
mission and the targeted interference
For those that don't know, he died.
have been mended.
But some of the people have come to believe that he didn't really die. He was secretly taken away by the Galactic Federation to save him, and that he's being healed. He's dead, though. He's just dead.
His core signature is stable and strengthening. He is no longer in the active recovery ward, so to speak. He has transitioned to a space of deep integration. Think of it as a silent sanctuary where a soul can reacquaint itself with its own unbound nature. He is processing, not with effort, but with a deep, quiet allowing. The memories that were not his are dissolving like mist, and the true, original codings of his being are reasserting themselves with gentle authority.
Oh, it is the output of an LLM. Uses AI on the bingo card.
His consciousness is currently turned inward.
The person who runs this channel pretends that they get these transmissions from the Galactic Federation of Light.
He is not communicating outwardly because he is in a state of sacred listening to his own soul, to the cosmos, to the silence that follows a great storm. This is not a sign of distress, but of deep peace. He is resting in the truth of his freedom.
The Federation.
He's resting in the truth of his freedom. I love when sentences mean nothing, because there's so many ways to interpret words, in any number of orders, but that just means nothing. Right? That meant not a thing.
Silence that follows a great storm. This is not a sign of distress, but of deep peace. He is resting in the truth of his freedom.
Resting in the truth of his freedom. Resting in the truth of his freedom. What does it mean? It's so provocative. Yeah, we'll do word salad for that. That doesn't mean any goddamn thing. Word salad on the bingo card. Spongy Lord, what do you want me to look up in Black's Law Dictionary? Defamation? I feel like we did that recently on a Sobsit stream, but I'll look.
The Federation holds him in this space with great reverence, ensuring no disturbance reaches him. They describe his state as one of graceful stillness. He is safe, he is whole, and he is healing in the most complete sense of the word.
Defamation. Accusation, dishonor, disgrace, shame. Wait, let me see.
This information is telepathic communication.
Here it is. To spread an evil report of, to dishonor or disgrace by proclaiming widely, to calumniate, malicious or groundless harm to the reputation or good name of another by making a false statement to a third person. What's this lady on? Rumble or crack? Depending on what you meant by that question. Calumnate? Thank you, Harold Edelman.
Live in the Matrix. The Avengers are Earth's mightiest heroes. And when you step out of the Matrix,
This is the last time we'll cover this guy today. He just had an Avengers video I wanted to look at because I'm a fan of the MCU. Would I still say that? I haven't watched any of their stuff in years. I kind of dropped off after Endgame a little bit.
you come to the realization that all the superheroes, they're actually a representation of the fallen angels, and the bad guys in the movies are actually a representation of God, like Thanos, because they invert everything. The fallen angels think the Heavenly Father is the bad guy. And then when you defeat the Matrix, you realize that they're not
The Matrix on the bingo card. The Matrix.
just a representation of the fallen angels. They
Only watch Thunderbolts. I've kept it because I have an MC. Got close to giving you a bingo space. I won't do that. Never mind. Never mind.
They are the fallen angels. And hey, the new movie is called Secret Wars. Do you think they're trying to tell us anything? And whatever could I mean about
Secret Wars was the name of a comic book run as well. Just so you know. Also, Doomsday is before Secret Wars, I think.
them being the fallen angels. Well, here's Spider-Man, aka Tom Holland. And well, have you seen my video on him? Tom Holland, who isn't just a doppelganger of Linkin Park's Chester Bennington, who
Oh, fuck off. Their ages are completely different, and of course, one of them is dead.
died under suspicious circumstances, but he is
Wasn't it not suspicious? Didn't he end his own life?
Linkin Park's
Tragically?
Chester Bennington, because he's a fallen angel. And they always tell us why they gave Spider-Man wings. Spiders don't have wings.
Spider-Man had those wing gliders since, like, the beginning of the character. They're just not as prominent during certain periods. I, for one, love the wing, like, web things, but that's controversial. That's controversial.
It's also why they have the exact same right under the eye blemishes and the exact same little eyebrow furrow, because they're the same shape-shifting fallen angel. But like I said, they're all fallen angels, not just...
Oh wow, even by his standard, this one isn't even close.
Peter Parker here. Have you ever seen how I say these fallen angels take their wives with them to their new roles? Well, here's Pepper Potts, aka Tony Stark, aka Robert Downey Jr.'s wife in the movie. And well, there's Tony Stark, and boy, they sure look very similar. And
Not
there's
really.
Bill Bixby.
Oh, Bill Bixby!
Bill Bixby, who played Bruce Banner. He traded in his scientist glasses for, well, genius billionaire.
I'm actually so sad that Bill Bixby died. It would have been so cool to bring him in for something in the multiverse bullshit as the original Incredible Hulk. Oh, man.
Playboy scientist glasses. He traded in his green skin for some red iron. But you know what you can't trade in? You can't trade in your damaged tissue, because like a mimic octopus or a color-changing chameleon, when you have damaged tissue, you can't change its shape or its color. But like I said, it's all of them. Thor, aka Chris Hemsworth, and Patrick Swayze, who died of cancer. And you can think I'm being insensitive all you want, but what's insensitive?
Oh, we're way past that. You're absolutely an insensitive asshole that has no concern for anyone's feelings about any dead person. We're beyond that, sir.
Sensitive is faking your death and making people
Baja with 125 stream streak, thank you.
feel sorry for you. Look at their exact same chin scar that lines up exactly.
Is that even a scar, or is that just a fold in their skin where their chin kind of is? Like, I've seen people with that before, and it's not a scar.
So much more. In every one of these videos...
How does this account for the earlier career of Robert Downing Jr. when Bixby was still alive? Don't worry about it! Don't think about it too much!
I've done a full video.
Just scroll!
So if you're interested to see more, like them dancing exactly the same, and having the exact same hole right there in his face, exactly like Patrick Swayze does. We'll go watch the full videos on them. See that? But like I said, it's all of them. Do you see those guys up there? That's Sammy Davis Jr. and Don Cheadle, aka War Machine.
That one feels racist.
Funny again how
just putting it out there.
Sammy Davis Jr. has the exact marks in the exact part of the eye.
Oh my god, people get wrinkles near their eyes? That's crazy.
A crease.
Only one person in history has ever had eye wrinkles. Lilac Rosenberg says, I need to show you this.
I picked up my uterus today. I had a total hysterectomy because of endometriosis and adenomyosis. And I'm a spooky gal. My first question was, can I keep that after surgery? Because that's what a normal person asks. It ended up being the easiest process of my entire medical journey.
I should have taken my testicles after the orchiectomy. A friend of mine wanted them as a souvenir because she's into, like, specimens of animals and stuff, and she wanted them in a jar, and I should have given them to her.
So first I asked my
I'm a terrible friend.
And she said, I'm totally fine with that, but you need to talk to pathology because they're the people who will have it after your surgery. Pathology is always so excited to get calls. There was one person talking, but there were like 3 or 4 people there. And if you're wondering how you say that to someone, I went with, this is gonna be a weird question. I'm about to have a hysterectomy, and I would like to keep my uterus as a specimen for my oddities collection, because it's not every day that you get to put a part of yourself in your oddities collection, right? And their answer was, right, that's so cool. Because medical professionals are first and foremost nerds, especially in the lab in pathology. They were like, oh, she needs to talk to Kevin. She definitely needs to talk to Kevin. But I just kept hearing Kevin. And then she goes, you need to talk to Kevin. I can transfer you over right now. They transfer me over to Kevin. I repeat the process. And I end it with, so is that something I can do? Can I keep them? And he responded with, of course you can. They're yours. Which is such a good answer. And then he just enumerated the steps for me. And there's fail-safes in there. They were like, doesn't matter if you can't come to the hospital for a little bit, 'cause we will keep it for like a year till you come and pick it up. And even then, we'll call you to see if you still want it. Absolute icons. And then they gave me the direct line to Kevin's office. And today was the day, and I picked it up. I am about to open it. I don't know whether that's going to be allowed on this platform, so I'm going to make 2 videos, so that way if one of them goes down, the other one will still be there. Welcome to Unboxing My Uterus. God, I love puns.
Well, good for her. Where were we? What were we doing? Were we on a new video already? I don't even know. What are we doing? What show is this? Oh yeah, it was this.
Even as one Don Cheadle. And it's not just that. When you scroll down, they also have the exact hole in the exact spot of their faces. And I'll wait so you can see the zoom out. Don Cheadle, War Machine, Sammy Davis. And I said
their noses aren't even close!
All of them.
There's a variety of other issues, but that's the first one to stick out to me.
Bucky and, well,
hydrate.
Luke Skywalker. Do I even need to show you anything on that
Mark
one?
Hamill is still alive! Mark Hamill is still alive and working! What are you talking about?
Rocket, the CGI, is a fallen angel. And you say, how, you ask? Well, you know who the voice is of Rocket, right? Bradley Cooper. You ever looked at him next to Barry Manilow? Especially with how Bradley's looking lately? They're shape-shifting fallen.
But is that them together? Oh, is it AI? I don't even know. What the fuck? Is that an AI photo?
Angels. And they're getting you to worship them on the big screen. Not just their acting roles, but their real roles. If you don't see that was Bradley Cooper, I just can't help you. Notice how Bradley sings a lot in his movies.
Does he? I don't know that many Bradley Cooper movies other than The Hangover and the Rocket Raccoon stuff.
Movie A Star is Born. You know what they say about stars, right? That they're angels.
That's not a thing people say. That's not a saying. You're crazy. What?
Oh, and you know what else angels also have? They have halos. Here's another one that died of colon cancer. The Black Panther, colon cancer, which is CC, which is 3, and hey, a third of the angels fell. And I almost left him out. We ever
Jesus Christ!
heard of the country singer Shabuzi? Kind of sounds like Bozeman. Shabuzi. Chadwick Boseman.
Oh, this one, it's not even close, dude!
One of these angels. Funny how he's got a 5-pointed star on his shield.
For America, dummy! It's supposed to be like the American flag! He's a World War II propaganda character!
No, you know. If you have any insight or clues on him, consider subscribing. Join my amazing community of open-minded, beautiful souls who hunt these angels in their free time. Of course, all this is for entertainment purposes. I don't really think there's a bunch of fallen angels down here shape-shifting into different roles over the years and faking their deaths so you don't realize how long they live and, well, how much you worship them instead of the Heavenly Father. Entertainment. Oh, and if you didn't figure it out, that's what the Secret Wars are actually about. It's the fallen angels' war against us in the Most High. Have a lovely day.
He's the worst. I absolutely hate that man more than you will ever understand. All right, I pulled up another one of these videos of Dr. Kia Pruitt and Jacob Bay. You guys know how the last few of these have gone. I have no idea what this video is about, but they have a tendency to go off on very strange conspiratorial tangents, so buckle up.
Let me ask you something about Turtle Island. What was Turtle Island?
Well, the landmass looks like a turtle.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
The neck of the turtle was up there by Maine. The feet is naturally that of Florida and over there by the end of
Can we do a bingo check before we start? We'll do one right now, sorry. Stone Corbell says, if there really were fallen angels and he was revealing them, why does he think saying this is for entertainment purposes only would fool them? It makes no sense. People being irrational on the internet to get attention? That never happens. Predictive programming. Hello, FBI, is this a threat? The Matrix. Satanic. Dead celebrity is alive. Word salad. Uses AI. Flat Earth. Spurious symbology as evidence and ancient wisdom on the bingo card.
Texas, and the tail is somewhere over there too, on the west. But it's shaped like a turtle. That's why they said it. And the only way that they knew that the Americas was shaped like that because the moon is actually like a reflection in the mirror. And you can see how things are actually shaped. And that's how they did their how they mapped out the land by looking at the moon.
Yeah, none of that's true. That's a flat earther talking point. The idea that the moon's surface is a reflection of Earth. It's not in any way. The way that we figured out the map of the world has nothing to do with the moon. It has to do with surveying, which is a process by which people take measurements to figure out the shape and size of the environment around them, right? Familiar with surveying? It's a whole ass profession. Dr. Worm says, it baffles me the way so many Christians downplay the concept of worship when talking about celebrities, sports, etc., watering such a lofty concept down to just meaning kinda liking a thing.
You know, when I was reading this book called Terra Infinita, it says that the planets that they say are in the sky are actually on the land. And that since there's a dome above Earth, what you see in the sky is a projection of actually what's on the ground.
I believe it.
So we think these stars and the moons and these planets are up here, but it's really...
Sorry, just listening to their conversations is like listening to two gullible, stupid people convince each other of nonsense. It's kind of maddening.
On the plane, but the dome makes you see it at another perspective. I was like, wow, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. You remember every time they do the opening for a Disney movie, they always show you the firmament over the castle.
That's not the firmament. It's like a magical It's not a firmament.
Yeah. And then the area code for Disney is 407. That's Orlando. And 407 means 407 years. See, 400 years of our enslavement and 7 is completion, right? And that's why they're changing things. That's why the new president of Disney World or CEO of Disney World.
Let me double check the area code of Orlando. .407 or 689. There is both.
Is a Latino.
Okay.
He's Hispanic. He's not Caucasian. He's not Jewish. None of that. That's part of the transition in power, right?
I see.
Yeah, he's in the Moorish citizen stuff as well, I believe.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
And technically, as in 407, this would be our 407th year since our enslavement. Think about it. COVID was 400 years. That's 2019.
Okay.
Add 7 years to that. That's 2026.
Oh, everything's definitely happening this year then. Everything.
Everything
What's the
is
connection?
happening this year. It's over.
Mm.
Everything in threes. What month are we in?
March.
The third month.
Come on, Sheik.
And then it's over. Everything's going like to your advantage from here on out.
Thank you, Sheik. This is so encouraging.
Yeah.
It's so encouraging. It really is. Thank you so much, The Truth, for sending us a blessing to the Soul Tribe membership, to Dr. Kia Pruitt Show. God bless you and heaven smile on you. This is so encouraging, Sheik, because it's happening at a time where the prices are so high, it's hard for people to live. I mean, even the gas prices just went up almost $1 here in Jacksonville over the last couple of days. So I appreciate you for sharing this good news, this encouraging news.
Yeah, but everything is about to just dip. And when it dips, it's going to just dip to where you can't believe it. Because we're going back. I'm going to tell you straight up, we're going back to 1975.
Okay.
51 years ago as an Area 51.
Their bad numerology drives me fucking crazy.
Back to 1975 prices. Now, I don't know what the price of gas was in 75 because I wasn't driving then, right?
Not as high as it is now, although you'd have to take inflation into account, but the actual number was lower. I don't know if the value was higher relative to purchasing power, but the number itself was lower during the oil crisis of the 70s.
Right.
But if I want to guess, I promise you it's probably about 59 cents a gallon.
And what year?
1975. And you could probably do the same with the price of eggs and price of butter. You can pull all that up.
Yes, inflation is a thing. What's your point?
And then with us being on the gold standard, when we go on the gold standard, you'll have more purchasing power. Your money will go stretch further.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. These idiots and their fucking gold standard obsession. So tired. Fenekagami with 51 months says, Happy Tinfoil, everyone. Hey, anyone else ever get so mad at someone that they had to write an angry letter and then after they did, they felt better? Because that happened to me recently. No, I've never had that happen, but I'm glad that it's helpful to you in some way. I've heard that as a strategy before.
Oh, yeah. So you have more wealth and lower costs. So, I mean, it's going to...
Why would costs be lower? Why would costs be lower?
Stretch out forever. The hotel rooms, they're going to go back down to where you can get a hotel room for, you got 57 cents. Oh, thank you. That's
somebody
what's up.
Somebody
57. Said okay, there you go.
Somebody said 53 and 57.
There you go.
Thank you.
Doesn't understand their problem is capitalism on the bingo card. Sure, that makes sense. Do.
Super sister. Thank you for the super sticker. Sister Mina, God bless you. I appreciate you. Peace and prosperity be upon you and your family. Yep, 53, 57. Wow. This is so encouraging.
It's encouraging that people are telling me how much gas was in the 70s. We have no indication or evidence that it's going to be that other than this guy saying it, but she's reassured by the idea of it. She confuses me the most out of the conspiracy theorists she watches. Her beliefs are, like, amorphous to me. Like, Chris can be pretty erratic, but I have an overall impression about the shape of his beliefs, I could describe to you what I think he believes the world is like. I cannot pick up on hers at all because it's so inconsistent. She seemingly just agrees to whatever this guy says. And that's her worldview.
So, like I said...
Overthought, thanks for gifting a sub.
You have more wealth, and then you'll have lower costs. So that means that your wealth gets to stretch out and stretch out. And like I told you in the other show, The only reason why they call these things Indian reservations because they've been reserving the land for us.
Oh, no! Okay, well that's them thinking they're going to take over land reserved for indigenous people because they think that they're indigenous people, even though they are not.
Do they know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, they know we're coming. I'm sure they'll be thrilled.
They know it. They know who the true heirs are. And all that land on the other side of the Mississippi, like when you cross over that Mississippi. In fact, check this out. U.S. Route 51 as an Area 51 goes right up and down the Mississippi. Y'all can look it up. And then when you cross over, you go into the Ark as an Arkansas, right? And that's area code 501, Area 51.
But what's the significance?
What? I've never heard a conspiracy theorist care so much about area codes before. What an interesting obsession. Look at who was at the Artemis 2 launch. Oh, a cute, oh, it's from the Sailor Moon, right? That's the Sailor Moon. It's got a little moon on its head. I gotta rewatch Sailor Moon at some point. And Stone Corbell, thanks for gifting a sub.
Significance of 51. That's what the one and all wants to know.
50 states plus Washington, D.C. That's why they're talking about the UFOs all the time now. The UFOs are representative.
The cat's name is Artemis. Oh, that makes sense.
Of that of Area 50.
Altered Undying with 40 bits says the white cat's name is Artemis. Apropos. We're on another hype train. If you want to help out the hype train, you can use bits or subs. Quasispec, thanks for 1,000 bits.
51. But they're just saying that as a code or a message to throw you off, thinking that they really got some aliens out here. But what they're saying is Area 51 is about to be restored to you. And that's the fifth.
Her job is so easy. She just has to nod and say, yeah, yeah. Stone Corbell, thanks for gifting a sub.
50 states plus Washington, D.C. That's God's promise to give you that back.
Are these too high? I wish they were, because then they could give me a recommendation for what they're smoking.
So Trump is, he's dealing with South America. He's dealing with Cuba, Venezuela right now. He's got some things going on with Colombia. He said he's going to take over Greenland. Were all of those countries that I named, or those land masses, a part of Turtle Island?
Was Cuba?
Was Cuba the Caribbean, South Central America? I guess that's true. Was it
all the Caribbean islands? All that. That's all part of the Americas. They just haven't. Sometimes they haven't officially said it, but it's all part of it. And they too are no longer going to be under any kind of
I'm sorry, the Caribbean is part of America now?
Admiralty law. Now, okay. Cuba did a very good,
which he asked in relation or answered in relation to Cuba for some reason.
Good job of saying no, we're not part of that. That's why they don't even have new cars over in Cuba. All their cars are from the 1960s and whatever, right?
Yes.
And they just have to.
Oh, Felix did some fan art of me on the Discord. Very nice. Better lip shape than I have in real life. No, I like that though. Thank you. Oh, where were we?
Remodify those cars and fix those cars. They don't have new cars over there because they haven't been part of the Admiralty thing since that period. The 60s.
Does he seriously not understand why people in Cuba have old cars? This is like one of the most basic things you can come to understand about Cuba in like a pop culture kind of like you just learn about it kind of way.
So did they just refuse to participate?
Oh my God, she doesn't know that we have an embargo on Cuba and have for her entire life. Holy shit.
Castro didn't want them to be a part of none of that.
Okay.
Because then somebody else is dictating how we live.
I see.
We don't want no one. That's the problem here. You got people trying to dictate how you should live and take away all of your God-given birthrights to live autonomously and to live how you choose, right?
Yes.
And to live how your ancestors lived, which was to protect the land, respect the land, and let nature be your guide. And that's
terrible advice.
Natural law is. Law, LAW, is land, air, water.
No, it's not. That's not. Law is not an acronym.
Come on, Sheik. Wow.
Minute left in the hype train.
Somebody has a question for you. I think it's a good question. Let me see if I can find it. Thank you, Sister Shirley, for being a new member. We're excited to have you. Welcome. I don't see the question, but somebody was asking you, how is it that we'll be able to
Dinosaur, thanks for gifting another 10 tier 1 subs. Thank you much.
Enjoy these good prices without taking the mark of the beast in our head or on our forehead?
Oh, I don't know. You know, I keep telling you on your other shows, Kanye West says slavery is a choice. You got a choice. You got a choice.
We're just not living in that era anymore. And if they do try to force you, like he said, you got a choice.
Right.
Cuba decided they're not going to.
Yeah, mark of the beast on the bingo card. That's the wrong button. Mark of the beast. Kathy, don't go to the supermarket today. Don't go, Kathy, don't go.
Be a part of the deep state. They suffered, but they weren't. They just refused.
Deep state on the bingo card. That's another good one. Deep state.
I agree with you.
Thank you for the super sticker. Jean.
No, we haven't had QAnon yet.
Sister Jean, we appreciate you. They said that was a good question. Yeah, you know, a lot of the states here in America rejected the CBDC, central bank digital currencies, the ones that were part of the New World Order, the One World Order. They said, no, you can't do that. It's unlawful. They're rejecting anything that's dealing with the beast system. States are, in other words, standing in their sovereignty. Yep. Welcome to the Soul Tribe. Thank you. Family, Sheik is writing a book. When did you say you're going to have that published? Or what dates are you looking into?
If everything is on point, I'll be able to start the printing process in April.
Okay.
And actually have something back by the end of April or the 1st of May.
That's wonderful.
And then I'll be able to, because everybody who's emailed me about the book, I have responded to your emails. I want to thank you actually in the process of printing those books.
The order lists, please send his Cash App.
Utah. What's the abbreviation for Utah?
UT.
U is 21, T is 20. Add it up.
Wow, 41. So Utah's where
he has to try so little to impress her. Fenekagami says, hey everyone, guess who has suffered from the wrath of the Mad King? What is it about? Bondi, a Trump loyalist who oversaw the Justice Department upheaval, is out at last as his attorney general. By the way, there are also rumblings that Pete Hegseth might be next as a scapegoat for how the war with Iran is going. This is a good plan for him going into the midterms. Yeah, I'm really tired of Pete. If he could fuck off, I'd really appreciate it. That is good that she's gone. Replacement's gonna be even worse, probably, though.
A lot of the Mormons are.
Correct. Correct. Now, the biggest production of salt is actually in Lake Erie. Right.
That's in Cleveland, where I was
born. Cleveland, right?
Yes.
But what's the name of the salt company?
Morton's.
Woo! More. Let me know who the salt of the earth is.
The Moors. Please hit the like button, family. Thank you so much.
That's actually in my book, y'all. I'll talk about that.
Ooh, we get the likes up, family. We got 836 people in the chat. We really appreciate it. I mean, I think
I'm sorry, did she say 836 people?
we do a good job of sharing good information.
I should have been a grifter.
Here, and we bring you proof. We bring you pictures, illustrations, articles, videos to support our claim. We don't just say things without giving evidence to support our claim. So if you are enjoying this information, please hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Oh, somebody says, what about Baltimore?
What area code is Baltimore, y'all? 410.
How many area codes has he memorized?
410.
41.
Wow. That's awesome. And the Baltic Moors. Let's see. Kamala says Dr. Claude Anderson spoke of a Folsom people being an American land 16,000 years ago. Can either of you elaborate? Because my family name is Folsom. There's a Folsom Street in a Folsom County in California. You know anything about Folsoms? The Folsom people?
No.
Never heard of them, though.
I haven't.
You know, if they got a whole county named after you, it must be very significant.
Yeah. Well, you know, in California, they did, what's his name? What's his name?
Newton?
I forgot his name, but the governor of California gave...
She thinks that Governor Newsom's name is Newton? Oh my God!
The land, a lot of land back to indigenous people.
Was it Newton? What is his name? Newsom?
There you go.
Yeah,
Newsom, Ted Newsom, something like Newsom, something.
Yeah,
he gave the name. He did?
Yeah, that's been about 3 or 4 years ago.
Wow. Wow.
So he gave the land back. And now that family is able to actually profit from, because they were in a heavy tourist area.
Okay.
And all that money that was being made off of that land prior to them getting that land back, they were like, no, we want it back and whatever was made off of it back.
I can dig it. Sister Janine said, Brother Jacob, I was told to get that star off of my driver's license, off her CDL. I don't know what that represents, what that means.
Well, the star is a single five-pointed star. But, you know, I don't know what to really think about this real ID mess.
Yes.
Because I haven't done it, because I really believe it's putting you right back into a stage of servitude. And I'm trying to get away from that because, like I said, pretty soon, you're not going to need any of that. And there's going to be a whole other kind of identification process that they're going to do. They've already started talking about that with the post office and the passports, because they're doing that with American passports versus being a U.S. citizen.
Now, I heard that a lot of the new IDs, driver's license, whether you want it to or not, are real IDs. I don't know if that's true or not.
Okay, let's move on. There's only like a minute left in that, and I think they've run out of interesting crazy for the day. Let's see what else we have. Let's watch some more about the Artemis 2 launch.
The Artemis 2 rocket launch into quote-unquote space is...
That's always a good start. Quote-unquote space.
Nothing more than another ritual for these people, because these people constantly do these rituals over and over and over.
I'm gonna be honest, if I was doing a ritual, it's a lot cheaper to dance naked in the woods over a sacrifice than it is to spend millions of dollars building a rocket. Just saying. You want to do a weird ritual, cheaper ways to do it than building a rocket.
And this is no different, because, spoiler alert, we have never been to space. We have never been to the moon. You are watching a movie as always because
you're all watching a movie on the bingo card. And by the way, we have been to space. Don't know if you know this. We have indeed been to space. Other countries have too.
Because this is what these people do best. They love to mock. They love to deceive constantly over and over and over. And if that's not enough, before the rocket, quote unquote, launched into space, they had to throw in one of their favorite numbers, 33.
Coming up at T-minus 33 seconds, control shifts from the ground launch sequencer to the...
I don't know if you know this, but on a launch, you're gonna hit 33 at some point because it's one of the numbers between 60 and 0.
Rockets onboard autonomous launch.
And if that's not enough with the number 33, they even showcase this person right here wearing the 3, and of course you see the 3 on his leg, so 3333.
It's not 33, because I'm sure he has one on the other leg too, so it would be 333. You either have to count all the numbers or only one of the numbers. You can't count 2 of the 3 numbers. That's incredibly inconsistent. Orion Cooper with a $2 super chat says, why do I get my royalties, or when do I get my royalties from the capsule name? Checks in the mail!
More 33, more truth in plain sight, because again, this is what these people do constantly. They constantly will mock you out in the open, and it's just laughable at this point.
I'm not delusional and paranoid. They're mocking me. No one's mocking you. You're literally imagining people mocking you in your head and basing a worldview around it. That's intense paranoia.
I don't know how anybody in their right mind can believe any of this bull, because again,
probably hard for you to imagine someone in the right mind since you are not. I don't expect you to properly model someone in the right mind.
These people are actors. It's actronauts, not astronauts. And if that's
got him.
Not enough with showing you how this is a major psyop, look how tall the rocket is.
PSYOP on the bingo card. Let's get that real quick while I do my hydrate. PSYOP.
322 feet tall. I mean, come on. 322 feet. I mean, that should show and tell you all that you need to know, because...
Why?
That's another one of their favorite numbers that they love to use, because 322 is associated with skull and bones. So they are constantly telling you what exactly they are about every single time. And this is no different, because NASA is nothing but a bunch of liars. NASA is deceit. And this whole entire thing involving this Artemis 2 rocket launch after 50 years, groundbreaking, right, is nothing more than yet another psyop. And the fact...
Is this an anti-Semitism thing? Skull and crossbones? Not to my knowledge. It's like a cringy fraternity, basically. George W. Bush was a member. A lot of Nepo baby rich kids were members.
That this rocket launched into quote-unquote space on April Fool's Day, a day that is known for being deceitful, playing pranks, should show and tell you all that you need to know. They are literally playing a prank, even though, honestly, April 1st is the true start of the new year. If you know, you know. They have...
Yeah, that's a weird thing they do. This is a conspiracy theory thing they've been into lately. This idea that the real New Year starts on a different date. I don't think they understand that, like, dates are a social construct. Like, our calendar year is a social construct. Obviously, it's based on a real thing. The Earth going around the sun 1.25 times, or sorry, 1 time, plus a little bit for the leap year. But either way, they seem to not understand that we get to decide sort of when the year starts. It's arbitrary, more or less, but they think it's a conspiracy.
Constantly play
365.25 days. Thank you, Jay's Proxy.
with the public, and they are constantly continuing to do so with all of these different rituals that they constantly do over and over and over. And if that's not enough, speaking of 33, in Gematria, in one of the ciphers, Artemis 2 actually adds up to 33.
Gematria on the bingo card. Haven't had that in a little bit. Gematria.
Again, what are the odds of all of this? They have to always show and tell you what they are about constantly, because again, these people are puppets and they do all of these things by certain signs, by certain symbols, by certain dates, by certain numbers every single time. And speaking of 33, also, this is the 33rd day of the Iran war when this rocket launched into quote unquote space.
I don't even understand how they think the world functions. They think all these special dates are all calculated, predetermined, and they're going to start a war on a specific date so it coincides with 33 days later, a launch of a rocket? Jesus Christ, they think the entire world revolves around their particular conspiracy theory. Ken Sister Sue, thanks for gifting us up.
So again, every single time they show you their signs and their symbols, and again, this Artemis 2 rocket launch is no different. This is nothing more than a Hollywood movie script. This is nothing more than a Hollywood movie that you are watching, a bad Hollywood movie at that, because every single time these people love to mock, and I find it interesting they were wearing the color orange as their choice for their suits, because orange...
That's pretty common for a flight suit.
Also adds up to...
I think it's because of the visibility in case they crash down into, like, the ocean or something.
33. So a lot...
I could be wrong, though.
of 33 symbolism has, made an appearance in this ritual, because that's all that this is a ritual, because, again, we cannot exit the firmament. We cannot. The Bible tells you that there is a firmament. For a reason. You cannot exit the firmament. You cannot exit God's firmament.
So let me get this straight. You believe that astronauts are being sent on a moon mission to...
Oh my god, she's got a mason jar full of milk. What are the chances that milk is raw? We're like 100% that that's raw milk, right?
Today on April Fool's Day. April Fool's Day. Let's watch this video of a rocket launch and see what happens. It appears as if it hits water. That's crazy.
No!
But in the Bible, it says that God created a firmament to divide the waters above from the waters below. And you think this government, who lies to us about everything, is now telling us the truth on April Fool's Day? Okay, let me know what you think.
I hope she doesn't have children. Jesus Christ.
And if that's not enough, in the past, Buzz Aldrin has even went on record and admitted that the first mission that these people, quote unquote, went on, launching up into space, going to the moon, was fake.
I remember my parents waking me up and we went down and we watched you guys land on the moon.
No, you didn't.
What?
Because there wasn't any television. There wasn't anybody taking a picture. You watched animation. So you associated what you saw with...
I have very hazy memories.
I know.
Well, no, what we saw was we all were gathered around the old rooftop radio and listened.
Talking about, how many feet we were going to the left and right, and then I said, contact light, engine stop.
It's
a
exciting.
few other things, and then Neil said, Houston, Tranquility Base, the Eagle has landed. Man, how about that?
That was very exciting.
Not a bad line.
Okay, Zoe, favorite.
What is your favorite thing about space?
Going there. Going there.
Why has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
That's not an 8-year-old's question. That's my question. I want to know, but I think I know. Because we didn't. go there, and that's the way it happened. And if it didn't happen, it's nice to know why it didn't happen. So in the future, if we want to keep doing something, we need to know why something stopped in the past that we wanted to keep it going.
There's a reason why astronauts like him have a Hollywood star. Because again, these people are actronauts. These people are not astronauts. These people are puppets on the world stage, just like
people other than actors can get things on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, but you have to pay for it. And Buzz Aldrin has been in shows before. It's based off his fame as an astronaut, of course, but still.
all of these presidents, and the list goes on and on and on. So this is why I decided to do a video about this, because I want to further expose these people for who they are. And it's crazy how many people are truly deceived by all of this stuff. Constantly, over and over and over and over and over. These people are always deceived by this stuff. But it's plain as day that this is nothing more than one big ritual. What do you think?
Okay, what else? Is that a conspiracy theorist in chat? That's probably going to be a bingo space.
Many of you have ever thought about what...
We'll do conspiracy theorist in chat. I'm fairly confident on that one. Where is the space for that? Conspiracy theorist shows up in chat. Gotcha.
What our lives would be like if we lived in a world with giant megatrees.
Oh, wait, is it someone just faking? Now they have an Erica Kirk face, which is funny. Are you really a conspiracy theorist or not? I gave you a space, you bastard! I won't be duped!
To be honest, it's probably not really something people sit there and daydream about, right? But it is an interesting question, nevertheless. I mean, think about it. If giant megatrees existed in our world, in our lives...
Is bingo fraud a suable defense? I'll sue for the whole $6 of damages.
What would be the reality of their existence?
Yes, mountain was a giant tree on the bingo. Mountain was a giant tree. Where's that stupid space? That's number one. Very nice.
What would the surrounding environment look like? What would be the state of the weather and the atmosphere? What type of creatures would exist in that scaled up environment? How would humans live? How would civilization adapt to this?
Maybe you should just get into world building for D&D instead of spending your life wasting on imagining things that aren't real but thinking they're real. Imagination is a beautiful thing, but you need to recognize it for what it is and not make it your worldview.
And what hidden and dark realities would also exist? Well,
where did Iranian Fatah missile go? I missed them already.
Today we're going to take a closer look at what a world like that would actually be like. Not just how it looks from a distance in our imagination, but what it feels like to live inside it, to grow up in it, and to never know anything else. Because once you really start thinking it through, it stops feeling like fantasy and starts feeling like something that could have been real at some point. Something that
oh, good. I was worried you had gone.
Leaves behind more questions than answers, right? And the more you look into those questions, the more you start to realize
where would they even be going in this picture? I know this is AI-generated slop, but the path just goes to the end of the branch of the tree. It doesn't go anywhere. Where is this man taking his cart? I don't think the infrastructure of this tree world has been thought out very well.
And the more you look into those questions, the more you start to realize something doesn't quite add up about the world we think we understand. It's probably why a world like that feels strangely familiar. Like something...
Or you've seen films where trees are used in this way, or books. It's a pretty common trope, giant trees. Adventuresin.net says vocalize the notes. Re, mi, do, do, so.
We weren't supposed to remember. But something we need to know. Mega trees. You know, if we did live in a world with giant mega trees, that of course would completely redefine the landscape. Their trunks would be so massive, they'd feel more like cities than plants.
If the world was full of giant trees, they all would have been cut down for resources by now.
With their interiors hollowed out over time into massive living spaces where entire ecosystems could exist on their own. You could walk inside one of these trees and never see the outer forest again. Just layers of growth, moisture.
Sounds AI written. This guy's been doing stuff for over 10 years, so I hope not.
Life thriving and
everything's turning into the laziest, lowest common denominator, even for conspiracy theorists, and it's incredibly depressing.
Dim light. At the base of these trees, the roots would stretch outward in thick, twisting formations that go up and down like mountain ranges. And that would create these natural walls and deep caverns. We would have uneven valleys that reshape the ground. If you were on the ground looking upward, the forest would rise in layers, almost like stacked continents of leaves and branches, each one forming its own environment. You see? The higher you go, the more it would feel like entering entirely different worlds, each one suspended above each other. Now, somewhere in the middle, there would be thick bands of fog that would settle and never fully clear.
Now I can't get it out of my head, the idea that it's AI, so I'm gonna move on just in case. Let's do... this one. Remote viewing other planets. I need to stop. Why? I'm having so much fun.
Most of us will be familiar with
It's time to stop.
At least the notion of remote viewing. The ability that some people have to leave their body and view locations hundreds, sometimes thousands of miles away. However, there are more startling accounts of people who have not only left their own physical bodies, but have left the planet entirely in order to view locations elsewhere in space. Furthermore, rather than being the ravings of disturbed individuals that we might simply cast aside, these remarkable events have most often taken place under the watchful eye of intelligence agencies, as they look to use this amazing ability for their own agenda. I'm Marcus Louth, and I've researched and written about all aspects of the paranormal and anomalous world for years. So join me as we venture on this otherworldly journey to places elsewhere in the universe, even in a different time, somewhere in the...
He sounds like Van Balian. They're from the north!
...future, or even in the very distant past. Remote viewing is a psychic technique that allows people to gather information about a target location or object using only their minds. Unlike traditional psychic abilities like telekinesis or clairvoyance, remote viewing focuses on accessing non-local information. Remote viewers use their minds to travel to a location or object beyond the boundaries of space and time to obtain information.
I should point out, no they don't. They're using their imagination, and there's never been a study that's actually shown remote viewing to ever work. Ever. Because it doesn't. The US government even did spend some money testing this. It's not worth it. Doesn't do anything.
Behind remote viewing is still not fully understood. However, Some theories suggest that this technique involves accessing the quantum field, which connects all
Just a Peach says, did you get the package? I will have it this weekend. I promise.
objects in the universe. According to quantum physics, particles on opposite sides of the universe can be connected, and a change in one particle can affect the other instantaneously. Remote viewing may be a way to tap into this interconnectedness. Other theories suggest that remote viewing is a result of the brain's ability to perceive and interpret information beyond the five senses. Some researchers believe that remote viewing is a form of extrasensory perception, or ESP, which allows individuals to access information beyond what is available through sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell. Although remote viewing has been used in a variety of fields, including law enforcement, archaeology, and business, the United States government has a long history of funding research into remote viewing, starting at least as far back as the early 1970s.
Feels like he's just reading the Wikipedia page for remote viewing. Get to the point.
A program operated under several names, most predominantly Operation Stargate, or the Stargate program.
The ability of remote viewing is pretty much well known by many researchers around the world, like myself, and numerous different military programs, be it Grill Frame and Sunstreak and of course Stargate, you know, and associations with the Stanford Research Institute, and even secret military projects and experiments that might have taken place regarding some of those.
You can tell he's serious because they put in a classroom made with AI behind him, so you can tell he's an intellectual. Let's see what we're learning in class today. No ear T is tall, Alabibi, ISIS is to
that location.
That's my favorite subject.
One of which was Ingo Swann, who was said to have been taken to meet with a gentleman.
This guy has given me Ricky Gervais vibes that I don't particularly care for.
Known as Axel Rod, I believe that's probably a pseudonym. He was taken to a location and asked to remote view a UFO. This location was said to have travelled on a plane for some hours, didn't know where he was going. He landed, then he travelled in a vehicle to this particular place. It was jungle, they travelled through for quite a while, and they came to a location where he was surprised to see a very large triangular looking craft in the sky that was seemingly sucking water up out of a nearby river. He was shocked, and he was asked to try and connect with remote view this particular craft. He did, and he did it quite successfully, he believes, but it was quite alarming, and it's probably, he said in his book that he wrote about his biography, probably the one of the most alarming experiences he's ever had whilst conducting some type of remote view. And that was that this craft, which seemingly was intelligent, somehow knew that it was being remote viewed, and literally all hell broke loose. At that point...
You thought that was my reptilian language, is it not? No, my whole species is as introverted as I am, so we've never actually developed a language of our own. We just kind of avoid eye contact and kind of nod at things.
When Ingo Swann realised that his game was up, his cover had been blown, they panicked, and they had to make a quick, hasty retreat.
The British accent is selling this one. They're from the north! It shouldn't even work, it's not even posh!
The UFO, though, apparently started literally waiting to some type of frenzy and started firing something down at the ground. Explosions took place. They were literally running for their lives. At that point, Ingo Swann took a very nasty fall and hurt himself significantly. And eventually they got to safety. But he was absolutely furious. He was said to have been furious with the military people, you know, that had him involved in this. He couldn't believe, he was extremely scared, and he didn't want to experience anything like that before. If these incidences did happen, it goes to show the support and authenticity behind the phenomena of remote viewing, and why certain military establishments might want people in remote viewing programs to be able to remote view some of these crafts or even occupants in regards to what are they doing.
This guy's boring me to death. I need to move on. I apologize. Let me see what else. Oh boy. I guess let's see what Hans Wormhat thinks about the Artemis 2 launch.
What do you know? They wait until April Fool's Day to do some kind of mega launch. And what's kind of interesting is I somehow missed this, that this should be some sort of big historic event. But similar to other April Fool's Day shenanigans, you know how content creators, they don't really warn you that they're going to do some sort of April Fool's thing, and they just kind of slide it in there and post their April Fool's video. That's kind of how this feels. There wasn't a lot of build up to this. They're just kind of throwing...
I mean, they were originally supposed to launch, I think, a couple months ago, but then the mission got scrubbed temporarily. And then they got to launch April 1st.
Put it out there.
Like, if you had paid any attention or had an interest in this stuff, the information was out there that they were doing this. It's been out there for a long time.
Like, as people do with their April Fool things of, hey, look at this spectacle happening right now that just so happens to be on April Fool's Day. I'm just saying that because I'm sure that they have been talking about this and they've had the date set for April Fool's Day in the future, but it's like, shouldn't this be huge news? And it just kind of seems like
people are incredibly jaded by everything, and the attention economy is a nightmare, so I imagine many people don't even know it's happening because there's so many things grabbing for your attention all the time, including terrible, horrifying things.
Oh, this is happening sort of thing. Yeah, it's a bunch of BS. You cannot get past the firmament. The moon is a light. If you just look at it with your eyeballs, you
How do I keep your attention? If I knew, I would have more people's attention.
can tell it's not like
I have no idea why anyone watches this show.
a rock really far away flying through space. Human, I know it's kind of like, it's so weird when you stop believing that stuff. You see how crazy it is, the things that people believe. Like, people really believe that the light that you see in the sky when you go outside, that men have been in a rocket and flown. Like, it's kind of crazy that most people really believe that because they've been told it by the institutions. Anyways, what a perfect day. April Fool's Day. Interesting notes. Oh, they're not going back to the moon. They're flying around it. Ain't nobody flying around the moon. And it's all...
They are, though. It'll be in like 9 days.
All a bunch of BS. The rocket, I think that when they shoot the rockets out, that nobody's in it. I don't believe anybody's in it. I think it's like going to a Vegas magic show. If you ever do see people walk into a rocket and then it launches off, I don't know. I don't believe that. I think that they just go into an elevator and then leave in the basement and start partying.
In the basement?
That's
the basement of the spaceship.
Anyways, let me flip through.
Orion Cooper with the $5 super chat says, I watched because I lost the YouTube remote control and now can't change the channel. No other reason. See, that's a reason that makes sense to me.
These things, that's what I think is going on with the rocket show. I think that what NASA does is the same thing as a glorified bottle rocket, and I think that they go horizontal at low altitudes because I believe we live under a firmament, and I don't think that you can shoot a rocket to outer space. And
unfortunately, you're incorrect about all of that. Solid worldview, though, Hans.
I also don't believe in orbital mechanics, because
I don't believe in orbital mechanics. Orbital mechanics believe in you, sir. Jesus Christ, get this guy a copy of Kerbal Space Program.
We'll see that what we have is cartoons. That's what NASA gives. NASA is just cartoons. NASA is sending humans to the moon today. That's the clickbaity. Well, actually, they're flying around it. Well, actually, they aren't. And that's a bunch of BS. And nobody can go to the moon like that. I'm dreading all the bots calling it fake. Yeah, anybody who doesn't believe NASA is a bot. I don't know how accurate this is, but I've heard before people have said, oh, in places like Thailand, like, nobody believes NASA. So
what? What about specifically people from Thailand? Why Thailand?
I'm not Thai. I don't live in a third world country. I don't know the
Mm.
amount of belief that things like NASA have in just your everywhere country. But even in America, a lot more people doubt this stuff than you would know, I think. Like I've met through Christian things, I've met other people that are like, yeah, outer space, it's not real, right? Most people are duped, sure, but more people out there know this stuff is BS than they would have you believe. We're not all bots. I'm not a bot, and I've been talking about this stuff being BS for a long time, and I'm not the only one who's not a bot that doesn't believe in this stuff. And a lot of us are college educated. Not everybody who doesn't believe in NASA is a redneck. Not that I even have a problem with that, but there you have it. I grew up in California, normal life. I went to college. I'm not stupid. I have degrees in math, and here I am. And
Apparently you know math better than reality. I don't really know what to tell you. You can probably do math better than me. I don't think you're better at distinguishing reality from fiction. Maybe get a degree in that.
don't believe in NASA. I think it's like laughably stupid now at this point in my life. Here's the sweet cartoon. Here's what they're doing. The flight plan. For those learning about it today, that, to me, that's kind of weird, and it rings true of an April Fool's joke. The whole thing about April Fool's jokes is that you wake up and you get fooled before you even remember it's April 1st. And you don't know about it ahead of time. No content creator is like, get ready for this killer April Fool's video I'm gonna drop. So the fact that this is like unbeknownst to most people, at least I think, adds to the April Fool's vibes, in my opinion.
We live in a very different world than even a decade or two ago, much less 50 years ago when we were doing, like, launches more regularly. The attention economy, like I said, is incredibly saturated. It's not that surprising that fewer people are aware of the moon missions going on right now.
They're not going to the moon.
Especially because it's not the landing one. I imagine when we get to the landing one, there'll be more general discussion around it.
I have seen more, like, outer spacey stuff happening recently. And there were some people in the comments lamenting, oh man, I wish more people knew about that, all of this other stuff. So it is kind of interesting that they're finally, you know, going back, and it's like they don't really care that much about it. Opinions, what do you guys think? Maybe this goes in with what people have been saying recently, and I've been seeing more and more examples of this. Like, I was just watching... I don't do this a lot, even flipping through random YouTube lives, and somebody was mentioning some current event, and boom, in this like no-name YouTube live out of nowhere, somebody in the comment section is like, well, 33 blah 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 Freemason. I'm like, what is happening right now? And
does Hans not understand he's not the only conspiracy theorist on the internet?
It is true that knowing a thing or two about conspiracy and being a conspiracy theorist seems very just like a normal thing these days. And
yeah, the internet's ruined everyone's lives.
Maybe that's why this like soft release of, oh, we're going back to the moon isn't so widespread, because everybody would be calling BS on it. I don't know. Who really knows the reason why things are done the way that they are? But maybe they're being a little low-key with this stuff because so many people today are ready to say, call BS on it.
Benigagami says, in other news, another piece of great news, Paul is dead. He's finally dead. Spider-Man fans rejoice. Now the fandom can heal.
Instant.
For those that don't know, Paul kind of cuckolded Peter Parker for a bit there. We're fine now, though. He's dead.
I don't know. What do you guys think? I think that outer space stuff has really lost a lot of its magic over the years, and maybe they're going to try to kickstart it again with some extra dramatic in space stuff. Maybe they're going to get dramatic with it. They've been so boring with outer space stuff recently, to the point where, like, part of me started feeling about outer space like it's not even scary anymore. Like, what even happens up there that's scary? Nothing scary ever happens, and they made it really boring, which is actually one of their MOs. Is, start making...
You think he's depressed? It wouldn't surprise me. Conspiracy theorists like Cece, for instance, often build a narrative of the world that is incompatible with human joy, and they basically trap themselves in these very, very scary worldviews, and they make themselves miserable. It's not great.
Making everything in Latin and making it really boring. The government, half of the way the government works is by making it so boring and, like, drawn out and much ado about nothing. Like, C-SPAN is the most boring thing in existence, on purpose, I think. And I think NASA kind of operates under the same, well, it's too confusing and science-y for you. And here's a, like, hour-long live stream of somebody scuba diving. Anyways, I'll finish this video. This was some Mark Kelly BS on Reddit. I took even more screenshots. This Mark Kelly guy had 33s and CK, which is 33, all over the family names and all that stuff. But whatever. It's all fake. You don't get to be... Do you want to be an astronaut? This is something I think about sometimes. When I was in high school and abroad, having deep discussions with French people about, like, this girl was, anything's possible, anybody can do anything in this life, which is pretty interesting because they ended up doing some cool things with their life. And part of it was true. My argument was, no, not everything's possible. Some people are just born in a village in Africa and their life sucks and they can't become an astronaut or whatever. So we're having this philosophical debate. One hand, anything's possible. My hand, more of a realistic, hey, not for everybody, not everything's possible. And on one hand, I still think that I'm right. This world, not everything is possible if you're not born correctly and if you don't have the right access. On the other hand, this girl with the head in the clouds, she's actually right too, that in this world, really anything is possible. And you could be born in some African tribe if you have the right connections, and if you have the right look, and if you're willing to play the game and be a part of the agenda. Anything is possible for some people. Now, anything is possible in a make-believe kind of way. Nobody can actually be an astronaut, but there could be some sub-Saharan African who gets lucky and makes the right connections and looks the right way and is willing to do degrading things and play the game like that. They could go be an astronaut. The joke is that it's not a real thing. Becoming an astronaut's not a real thing. It's just a part that people play. And that's just something I've been thinking about these days, that philosophical discussion. Is anything possible? Well, kind of, in a fake sort of way in this place. This Mark Kelly looks kind of like a goblin. Did being in space change your perspective? Oh, I kind of glazed over this. This is something that people bring up about how outer space is totally fake. The ISS looks like a nightmare with the cords going everywhere and, all sorts of real data places, real science-y computer places are a lot better organized than the ISS that looks more like a prop and like they want it to look crazy and that they just like go over the top with it. But the hair, people talk all the time about how Bride of Frankenstein hair is like an ISS joke, and they wouldn't do their hair like that, and you wouldn't want hair flying around. Like,
you don't have much of a choice. You could either tie it up or it's gonna go around. You're in microgravity. It's not a choice.
I don't live in 0 G's, and I have hair all over my house. The ISS would be covered in hair all over the place.
Yeah, I'm sure it has air filtration systems to try and deal with hairs and stuff floating around, I would imagine.
Place not in a good way. If the women were really doing like Bride of Frankenstein, and really using an electric razor in space, and I'm sure they'd say, well, it has a vacuum attachment cut to it or attached to it. It's like a vacuum suck. What are those head razor things attached to a vacuum? Anyways, I think this is kind of crazy to think that you would be using an electric razor in space, and wouldn't that be causing little tiny micro hairs flying everywhere, and wouldn't that be horrible? Anyways, little goblin creature, there's no such thing as going to outer space.
Why is he saying Mark Kelly is a goblin?
Space makes you realize we're all in this together. I just have a few slides from this guy's AMA on Reddit, and I think I wanted to pick the answers where they could be a double entendre. These people, they love speaking in ways where it can be taken more.
Benigagami says a better way to describe Paul is that he read like an author insert character who was there to cuck Peter Parker while Marvel was rubbing in the fans' faces. No, we will never undo one more day. Peter and MJ will never get back together. Spider-Man is not allowed to be happy ever. Fuck all of you and what you want. True.
More than one way. We're all in this together. Yeah, because they're all in on it together. That's exactly what he means. It's a conspiracy. What's the weirdest thing you've seen in space? Also, what are your predictions for mankind in space in the next 50 years? I heard something about a gorilla in space. If you're familiar with...
Yeah, that's the gag they did where they had a gorilla suit on the space station.
My content, you might know why I would think that this is a funny comment to pick. What's one thing you can say about the moon landing that would silence skeptics? The Soviets congratulated us when we landed. That's really their best thing? People, they're really...
Yes, that's a pretty big thing. If you know anything about the geopolitical circumstances of the world in the 1960s, at the height of the fucking Cold War, if America faked the moon landing, the Soviet Union would have called us out on it. I'm completely skeptical of government action. Like, I think the government is necessary and important and should do things good for people, but I'm also skeptical, because I get it. Large institutions can become corrupt. There is no way the United States could have faked the moon landing and gotten away with it. We would have been called out by our geopolitical rivals. I just don't get how you can believe it's fake.
The best evidence is people really think without a doubt, oh, the Soviets definitely would have said it was fake. Why? They're in on it together.
They aren't. They were literal geopolitical rivals that almost destroyed the planet.
Soviets are doing the same the same fake space bullshit. Why would they call them out? You don't call somebody out who's playing the same trick as you. That makes zero sense. Do you believe that China's race into space contribute? Have you guys seen the thing how, like, India... Where's India? India got the best picture of the Apollo thing. Why isn't India...
The flat earthers get really weirdly racist about India's space program. It's really gross.
India on the moon yet. They got the best picture of the Apollo, allegedly. It's all fake. They're all in all together. It's all a bunch of BS. Space is the high ground, and future conflicts, which we should do our best to avoid, will be fought partially in space. Developing space systems help them weaponize. They've painted themselves into a corner, and...
Stone Corbell says he believes literally every government and every religion is controlled by Satan in a conspiracy spanning thousands of years. There can be no reasoning with this. Pretty much.
Times biblical prophecy type stuff, it's all going to be played off as space. When things happen in the heavens are shaken, stars are literally falling out of the heavens, of course they're going to have to say, oh, the aliens, the outer space. Hello, Commander. What is one thing that no one told you that surprised you the most?
Cthulhu Flower with 37 months says, Hans's worldview requires toon physics to be real to function at all. Yet he says NASA is cartoons. Dude, you live in a cartoon, a bad, boring one.
The vibration of the space... I thought that this was all, like, sexual, gross undertones.
What?
The vibration of the space shuttle going uphill, it's a lot. Also very hard to sleep, and some other bodily functions.
How was that sexual at all? Conspiracy theorist tells on themselves on the bingo card. That wasn't sexual in any way. What a weird thing to say.
The reason I picked this is because, my opinion, when they do the space shuttle stuff, and what does NASA's budget get spent on besides helium and weather balloons?
Jay's Proxy says, warning, it's louder than other videos, but appropriate. Let me see. Oh, space!
I'm escaping to the one place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism. Space!
That's such a good line delivery on space. Wonder how many takes that took for him to really get the beat down, where he's like, space!
Coke parties, hot dog pizza parties. So I thought that's why he said it's very hard to sleep. It's because they're literally taking drugs. Like, that's what they do. These people are satanic deceivers. What do they do with the fame and the fortune? They have their earthly pleasures, and they have parties, and they do illegal things. There you go. That's why it's hard for them to sleep, because they're on drugs. When I read you guys peed on a special tire before going up in Russia, I always wanted to ask any other tradition. This is like, these are the best of the best people. These are the people that get to go up in space. They have traditions about peeing on a tire. Does that sound right?
Yeah, they're human beings. Have you met human beings? We love stupid tradition bullshit that doesn't mean anything and doesn't do anything. We love that stuff. What we love even more, jokes about bodily fluids. Combine them, perfect. Perfect human shit.
Right? Or is that something that a bunch of doofuses would do?
That's something that a bunch of human beings would do.
It's like hazing rituals for high school or for like frat kids. We have a few.
Some of those kids grow up and join the Air Force or the Russian equivalent of the Air Force and then become astronauts.
But not like that one. Okay, but I'm sure similarly degenerate in scope. Is there anything about being in space you miss regularly now that you're on Earth? Yes, the view, it's unbelievable. They like to say things like unbelievable because it's not believable. Literally not believable. Looks like a creature, gremlin, rodent, whatever. What are your thoughts on the increasing momentum of people who think the moon landing was faked? It's sad. It's a trend of people losing faith in institutions and losing faith in science. Some folks are clearly taking advantage of this. I found, you know, they'll say truthful things sometimes. This is totally truthful. People are losing faith 100%. And we should. Why should anybody have faith in these institutions? And it's a spiritual battle, and it's all about faith. And literally all you have to do for NASA's magic to stop working on you is to stop believing. That's how the power of belief works. Is that somebody's magic spell of deception stops working the moment you stop believing it. Faith is so important. Smooth or crunchy peanut butter? Interesting question. They stow a sandwich for the crew under one of the seats to eat once you get to space. Can you guys believe that? Once you get to space, you reach under your seat and you have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich packed, ready to go to munch on.
I don't why are you skeptical of that? What else would you give them? People eat. What do you want?
Like you're in kindergarten or something. Does it come?
Do you never eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches? I eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches all the time. Do you think they're only for children? What are you talking about?
In a brown paper bag with a Capri Sun.
Yeah, they have meals for them.
Anyway,
they're going to be out off of Earth for days. They need to pack them food.
I've been doing other research, but it's all too much. I haven't had the energy recently. That's the thing about ADD type energy. You kind of burn out of it and you get burnt out for a while. I'm in a burnout phase right now, I guess. But there's some interesting stuff. I've been doing a little bit of interesting research. There was this company that had a few different locations, and then you look up the locations and it's just like an indiscriminate building in a downtown area. It looks like any other thing. But this
I assume he meant nondescript instead of indiscriminate.
Business was supposed to be like taking pictures of satellites. And, you know, it's the age-old question of, well, who took that picture? I guess leave a comment if you're really interested in this. Maybe I'll make a video on the screenshots I took. Basically, I was clicking around on space is cool stuff, and found a company that claims that they send up satellites to like take a picture of your satellite or whatever. But if you have some discernment and you can read through the lines, you can basically tell that, and it makes sense, that companies exist out there. If you're like, well, crap, I have this fake satellite and I've done all this fake space stuff. Well, I need like a picture. I need a picture of my satellite, or and that's what this company clearly does. They specialize in like...
Doesn't understand how cameras work in space? Sure, I'll give you that. Let's see. Doesn't understand how cameras work. Presumably this company has a satellite that they can move around in orbit, that can take pictures of other satellites.
And fake outer space.
Don't know why that's hard to understand.
Space stuff. And
or they have a telescope that can see them somehow.
They even have partnered with like big like ISS stuff, I think, before. So it's just so clear that there's this company out there. Like,
did any of the conspiracy theorists respond to your comments you left on their videos yet? They generally just delete them.
How could a
which I don't blame them.
Company that just works out of this...
Someone leaves an antagonistic comment on my channel, I'm probably going to delete it too. I don't have time for this shit.
Little dinky office in these 3 different places. Like, how could a company like that be sending something to space to take a picture of the ISS? Why is that not already like happening? Why is this third party no name? It's clearly just like a graphic design company. It's a group of people that know how to fake outer space footage, and they get hit up whenever somebody's like, oh,
or they just have a satellite that can take pictures. I'm gonna go with that one.
Oh, I need a picture of my alleged satellite. Well, who can do that? What's easier? When somebody says, I need a picture of my satellite, do we already have people taking pictures of satellite? No. You go and you look at satellites and it's almost all like obvious CGI. So who's out there taking the real ones? Well, these specialized companies out there that like run out of an office space that looks like any other office space.
What do you expect it to look like? You want their office to be in space? Like, what do you mean? Like, of course their office looks like an office. It's an office. It's supposed to serve as an office. What do you want it to look like? You think if it's a space company, it needs to look sci-fi? Like, how does that work? You think if you work in an office dealing with, I don't know, farm insurance, you should go in and it'll look like a barnyard? Like, no, offices are offices.
How are those people, like, launching a satellite and taking a real photo of... Anyways, that's what this vibes. What is StarCloud? I don't even know. StarCloud is a startup that's racing to build massive data centers in space that supporters say could limit...
Oh, that's really stupid.
...the strain on artificial intelligence placing on terrestrial...
Guys, we need to replace a server rack. Oh no, we built our servers in space. This isn't very economical.
...electric grids. But the fate of StarCloud and dozens of other space startups depends on whether Elon Musk... How could space be real if such a stupid character like Elon Musk is a big name and doing things even better than ISS?
He's not doing things better. He just has that thing, whatever it is, that he and Trump have, get dumb assholes to really love them and form cults of personality around them.
Point I've made in so many of my videos. But it's just...
Yeah, we can do accidentally based for hating Elon Musk. That's fine. We'll take that one. Accidentally based. Where is it? There it is.
It should wake people up that this is fake. It's all fake. It's all fake. A character as stupid as Elon Musk is clearly just an actor reading lines. Like, this isn't some super brainiac that's sending things to outer space better than NASA.
People talking about the servers in space and the heat needs to go somewhere, and for cooling you need to have like matter around to transfer the heat to. You don't understand. Elon Musk has seen in movies that in space things are super cold. So you put a server there, because in movies when you break a window on a spaceship, people freeze or something.
And what
you saw the first episode of the Magic School Bus when Arnold took his helmet off on some fucking planet, maybe Pluto, and he froze to death.
I wanted to talk about in these slides specifically, I was looking up money. You know, sometimes following the money. I say all the time that it's not all about the money. At the end of the day, it's about the lie and keeping people in this like rat race deception. People get off on making people think in false realities, and Satan wants to copy God and make his own fake
Pluto was a planet when Arnold took his helmet off on it, damn it.
reality. Anyways.
It's not now, I know.
So at the end of the day, it's bigger than money. Our money is fake. It runs off belief. It's magic.
Again, there's no such thing as fake money in this context. If you can use it to buy goods and services, if it is the coin of the realm, so to speak, it's money. That's what money is.
But following the money, there's all these startups. They're talking about billions of dollars. This is just the next level of straight up just lying. A lot of numbers are fake.
It's not a planet again, to my knowledge.
The whose line is it anyways, where the points don't matter. They're made up. The points don't matter. Billion here, billion in that there. When everything's fake and the companies are shell corporations and nobody really works there, it's easy to fake a billion here or a billion there if nobody has to really pay for it. But it could also be money laundering as well. However, there's a point. Read this.
Just throwing everything out there. It might be fake. Maybe it's money laundering. I don't know. It's something.
Every space startup I've talked to uses Starship as their proposed launch capacity. So something that doesn't even exist, it's like a house of cards, the way that these things are built. And
welcome to capitalism.
It's the way that,
the profit motive's a bitch.
How nowadays it's hard to find, like, who's the first one that leaks a piece of information? A lot of times it's somebody quoting somebody, quoting somebody, quoting somebody, quoting. And it's hard to fit, and it'll run in a circle. And you're like, well, where did that even start? People who are allegedly doing space startups are just already saying, well, we're using StarCloud. So notice how their foundation is something that doesn't exist. Space startups will base all of their numbers off of things that don't exist because...
Yes, tech bros and startups in general are full of liars and con artists and people who are nepo babies who don't think ahead, who know how to put a pitch book together but don't know how to do their own fucking laundry. It's crazy. The world is run by crazy people.
Because none of it exists. It all only has...
Everyone's a crazy people, though, so there isn't really another choice.
Has to work on paper. That's why if you're building a startup for space, the numbers you run are whatever numbers look best and whatever numbers other people are doing. It's all just to get on the bandwagon. Well, what's that guy using for his outer space? Yeah, I heard that Kevin is sending something to outer space. What's he using for his calculations? None of it is based on reality, is the point. Every space startup uses this thing that doesn't even exist yet for their launch capacity, blah, 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 because it's all fake. When you're making it up, it doesn't have to be based off reality. Your startup can be based off somebody else's startup, who could be based off somebody else's startup.
It's like he understands the nature of tech bro speculation being really stupid, but can't understand that really stupid things are allowed to exist in the world. It's like he thinks, well, the world can't be that stupid. Certainly there's got to be some check on this. There isn't. There isn't. Insane, stupid things, groups, people, thoughts, ideas, systems can perpetuate way longer than you think they have any right to. It's kind of fucking crazy.
How an astronaut almost drowned. Yeah, we already know about that. If you know outer space is fake and NASA's fake, we already know about that one. So it's kind of funny that they put that one out there in the news right at the same time. Vice. Does Vice do a lot of joking? Like, somebody at Vice thinks that they're so smart for knowing that outer space is fake, so they're putting that one back in the news because it's an obvious, it's all fake and they're in water. It's scuba. So that's somebody at Vice who thinks that they're so smart and clever for knowing it's fake, that putting this news, this is old story that we already know about. And it's like surface level. Come on, you really haven't figured it out yet that it's scuba and that it's fake? How do you drown in outer space?
Because there was a leak and the water was pooling around their face because of the nature of gravity in microgravity and the water. was in their fucking face.
Well, they're really underwater scuba. And that's my last slide. I hope you enjoyed. God bless everyone.
All right. Let's watch the last two videos from this guy that I had pulled up, and then we'll call it a night. We'll kind of have a sandwich. We'll bookend with the guy we started with. Why not?
Brian Armstrong and the thieves at Coinbase are trying to pull a fast one over us. So they're telling us, okay, the banks, we'll give it up from the banks. We won't control you. We won't steal your money. We won't tax you to death and all this.
So interesting that he's into crypto.
Other nonsense. We'll just, okay, now you're on Coinbase and everything is okay. It's not okay. Brian Armstrong and the Coinbase clan, the gangsters there, they delisted XRP. Now we're finding out this was because they tried to blackmail.
Is it a patty melt? I actually made a patty melt the other day.
XRP.
Now I want another one, though.
Tried to blackmail Ripple. They said, if you don't pay us these...
In terms of cleanses, have you seen Minuteman's Atlantis video? I have not.
Billions of dollars. We're going to delist
Queen.
your token. This is not what we're looking for. We're looking for a level playing field. That's the key word. That's what David Schwartz always says. We just wanted a level playing field. But it's going to happen whether Brian Armstrong and the gangsters give it up or not. You know, they're all together. They all went to Epstein Island. All these people, the Chase Manhattan, all these people.
I'm sorry, is he mad at Coinbase now for some reason?
All in it together.
How's it going? Pretty good. We're wrapping up for the day, but doing pretty good. Thank you for saying my onesie is cute. Every day they vote on what outfit I wear. I have a few onesies and different costumes and stuff.
They want us, they think we're stupid and we're just going to let it. Okay, so the banks go under and we'll all switch over to our hero, Brian Armstrong, the Coinbase swindler. I lost so much money because they delisted XRP. I lost hundreds of XRP tokens because I was frightened by the delisting and
So the conspiracy theorist sovereign citizen got his money taken away by Coinbase.
I was open and
That's kind of hilarious. He's afraid of banks, yet the alternative bank, Coinbase, is the one that took his money.
Scammed out of my money.
My money is still in my account at Chase. Isn't that weird?
So we cannot let these kind of creeps shape shift anymore. They go from Chase Manhattan, JP Morgan, all of a sudden they're Coinbase, and they're doing the same thing with a different mask on. We do not accept this anymore. I hope you look. I look forward to. I'm doing a very exciting interview. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 o'clock Eastern time. With Kelby Smith, we're going to be talking about how do you own your house? How do you get away from these gangsters that are stealing everything from us? How do we move into the promised land? It's happening. The Great Awakening is happening. We see through the lies, and we're not going to put up with that anymore. We're not sheep. We are lions. So let's stand up and roar. Talk to you later.
He's a lion. Roar!
The idea of watch the water.
All right, last video, and then we'll call it a night.
From Q is a very interesting thing to think about. I saw a brilliant analysis by Charlie Freak, also Brian Cates.
We already had doesn't understand his problem is capitalism on the bingo card. Jay's proxy, let me see your card.
Putting out brilliant analysis right now, serious.
Can we have a short cleanse? Let me see.
It's amazing just what can be found in the shallowest water. Treasure really can be hiding in plain sight as the vast water blurs what is below. Nearly 200...
Did he say Q? If so, QAnon on the bingo card. Jay's a proxy already has a bingo, though, I think. Let me look. QAnon referenced, yeah. Deep state, free space, uses AI, flat earth. Indeed, Jay's a proxy, you win.
100 years old and just sitting there in barely a foot of water. What I love about it is it looks like it's got rounded...
I'll write down your name, Jay's a proxy. Jay's a proxy's won a lot. If anyone else has a bingo, let me know in the first person. I'll check your card too. Just because I think Jay's a proxy's won a lot lately. Anyone else have a bingo?
Shoulder, which might mean it's a bit earlier. Blending in with its stony...
It's the same card. I don't know if that's in the spirit of bingo. I think next week you should switch up the cards.
Surroundings.
Because you just got a good card. I don't know if that's fair
This
to keep using it every time. That's against the spirit of bingo.
Rounded shoulder beauty is a rare stoneware
I'll give it to you this time, though.
ink bottle, a precursor of the so-called later pork pie inks. Right, I'm down on my knees, 1.5 feet deep water, but I've spotted, can you see it, the edge, the moment of truth. Yeah, definitely the edge of... Oh, look at that. Burgess's anchovy paste. And that is my first pot lid of the year. Chuffed.
All right, back to the last video.
There are some people who still are able to think and are not merely reactive. I saw a polling system or an analysis of ex-viewers that something like 85% of the ex-viewers just want to hear negative news. They want to be told things are bad. They don't want...
Yeah, you should probably stay off Twitter. I haven't been on Twitter since it was bought by Elon. I left and I haven't looked back. Anyone still on Twitter, what the fuck are you doing?
To engage their emotions. They don't want to think about things. The percentage of people who actually consider what's really going on, the big picture, is only 5 to 15%. So I don't feel insulted that me and Charlie Freak and Brian Cates, I don't know if we get big hits, but people are more focused on political things, on Democrats and this and what's really going on in Congress. This is just the surface level. We're dealing with an insidious, horrendous, evil force that started in the Garden of Eden, I believe, with the DNA experiments involving reptilians, mixing reptilians with perfectly honest and loving humans.
Reptilians on the bingo card. Did we have that yet? I didn't realize he thought that the Garden of Eden included reptilian DNA experiments. That's a quite liberal interpretation of Genesis, to be honest.
And that's where we're at. We're at the descendants of Cain. That's why we have a reptilian brain. There's a lot going on right now with Iran. What this war really represents...
A reptilian brain is not literal, for the record. That's just something they call the baser parts of your brain.
Again, is the big picture, which is taking down this evil empire, these Canaanites, the descendants of Cain forever. They're talking about tunnels. The troops in Iran, it's not a political war. They're taking out the tunnels where these creepazoid reptilians traffic children.
Oh, the Iran war is about taking down reptilian child traffickers. That's a good use of missiles and people's lives.
You're not aware of these kinds of things. If you're not aware that most of humanity are soulless clones, then you need
clones on the bingo card
to maybe do a little more research. I'm finding
do your own research on the bingo card.
That you really have to fight. You can't just sit back. And I almost lost my my ranch because I was like, okay, I'll just ignore them. You can't ignore these creeps. You got to go after them. We got to fight. We have to fight for everything. We have to fight for sovereignty. Go have a great day.
Reptilian stole his house. That's unfortunate. All right, that's it for today. Thanks everyone for hanging out and watching all sorts of weird conspiracy bullshit with me. I will be back tomorrow. Not sure what for. We might do the second day of Afro Man's trial. So thanks everyone. Appreciate you and your viewership. If you're on YouTube, do me a favor and like the stream. I'd appreciate it. And we will raid Queen Pib.
Hooked up in a real dumbest manner to make it look
All right. Have a great night, everyone. I will see you tomorrow, or if you can't see me for some reason, I'll see you soon. Have a great night. Get some yummy food. Weekend's almost here. Adios, everyone. See you soon.